This podcast is brought to you by JList.com. Well, I know lots of you are big fans of Demon Slayer out there, and JList and JBox.com have tons of Demon Slayer merchandise. They have Nendoroids of all of your favorite figures. They have Tanjiro, they have Nezuko, they have Zenitsu, and they also have regular figures as well, in addition to the Nendoroids. They have limited edition Blu-ray discs, so you can collect them all, discs 1 through 8. Be a big collector of all those high-quality visuals. They have keychains of your favorite characters, pins, plushies, and so much more. So head over to JList or JBox.com and search for Demon Slayer to see their wide selection of goods for only the biggest Demon Slayer fans. And of course, you'll be supporting the podcast as well. And now it's time to start the show.
You're listening to the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. Take your anime addiction to the next level at aaapodcast.com/join. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Hey everybody, welcome to the 527th episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. I am your host Mitsugi, and I am joining you on this very, somewhat piping hot day here in Denver, Colorado, joined by two good friends. We have Mandi over in Ohio.
Hello. It's good to be back. I had a good weekend with my sister, and I'm excited to be here.
And we also have Mason, who just drove across the country. You'll hear about that on Hobby Addicts. Mason, what's up?
I'm back, baby. I'm back. And, it feels good to be home.
And to all of you listening across the world, whatever you're doing today, thank you for making us a part of your day and listening to us. I hope we can make your anime addiction worse today, because, of course, that is our mission. And I am going... What do we have here? Oh, it's a monster. Oh, and it's a pink one, and it's so good. If you want to join our ranks, you can go to www.aaapodcast.com/join. We have our hentai episodes. Today we're going to be doing our reviews of the May 2020 hentai, and then picking our selections from June. We're going to go through the June slate and see what kind of naughtiness we can get up to. We also do our Hobby Addicts, where literally it's like a weekly recommendation of games to play. So if you are a big gamer, head over and listen to our Hobby Addicts, because especially Mandi always has tons of awesome games to tell you about. And of course, we have a metric fuckload of after parties you listen to in our backlog. There's probably 400 of them, and we do those as well every month, so check those out. Guys, we're on Twitch. Thank you to everybody watching live on Twitch. Please follow us. I assume we're over 1,000 now on Twitch. But we love all of you who watch live and participate in the show. Twitch.tv/AAA Podcast, live every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Of course, the normal other social media channels, which are managed by the lovely Caroline. We have our Facebook groups. We have the Twitch. We already mentioned Twitch. We have Twitter. So many TW social medias. So you can find us over at Twitter. All of us, including Muscle now, although we have not updated his image on the Twitch yet.
Sorry.
I actually have a Twitter now, everybody.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness, what a time to be alive.
Yeah, it's when Mason gets a Twitter, the only thing JoJo can say is, "Oh my god." The world is never going to be the same. And of course, we have our Discord. And the Discord, let's be honest, is probably the place you should be more than anything else, because it is where everything awesome happens, including the Anime Club. Mason, tell us about the Anime Club this week, please.
The Anime Club, we just talked about Rakugo Shinju, and it was a great discussion. But next time, join us for Hammer Time. We were talking about Kyoso Giga on June 17th at 10 p.m. EDT. This show is only 10 episodes long, so it's a really easy club to join. There's like a episode 0, there's an episode 5.5, there's an episode 10.5. Forget about it. You don't need any of those. Just watch the 10 episodes. It's a wild ride. I'm super interested to hear what everyone has to say about it. I also want to give a shout out to our boy, not here today, but Enzo. giving us a sweet little animated thing for the Discord, and I can't stop watching it constantly. I love it. So big props to him.
It is great. It is. I have to say, it's pretty much perfect. I love it. So that alone is a reason to get over to the Discord, guys. So for sure.
You also have my manga club, and that is up this Wednesday, the June 10th, and we are discussing the first 2 volumes of Spirit Circle, which was on the list previously, and we canceled it and moved different books around to make things easier for everybody. But Spirit Circle is back. It is
Ooh.
available on the Crunchyroll app if you are not able to get it in like a physical printed version. But join us, and it's at 10 p.m. EDT. And a very laid-back discussion. All you gotta do is show up. You don't even have to talk if you do not want to. And yeah, we'll just have fun and come join us.
All right, guys. Well, now that you know what's going on the Discord, let me tell you what we got going on the podcast. So we are going to be doing a game today, a fun game called Synopsis in a Shitty Way, which is leaves some interpretation, of course, and my approach was to make synopsises a little bit hard to understand, to pinpoint which anime you're talking about, but I also tried to be funny with all of them, so we'll see how that goes, because funny is hit or miss. And of course, we're going to be doing a review on Pet, like your dog or cat, literally. So look forward to that later on in the show. And we also have something, Mandy. Do you have a message that you've prepared that you want to say?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that because I was not here last week, and both Enzo and I were not here. And yeah, there's been a lot going on in the world, a lot of stress. And last weekend we didn't show up because there was a lot of information that I think we both wanted to just monitor and give our full attention to. At the time, I was also dealing with a very, very sick animal that I thought for sure was going to die, but thankfully he did not, and I've nursed him back to health. So.
Oh, good.
Thank goodness for that. But yeah, Mitz and Mason and Caroline continued last week, and they've all expressed our support with the Black Lives Matter movement and the Black community. And since I was not here, I just wanted to reiterate that. And I know that it's a very emotionally draining moment for a lot of people, but there's still a lot of work to be done. And I think it's just important to know that this isn't just like a trending topic. I think it's really important to keep sharing information, to continue to help educate those around you, sign petitions, and there are still a lot of charities that you can help continue to donate to help show your support and help create change. And I know we've shared some on our Twitter pages, a good site to help show different ways you can help continue to show your support. And one of them, I think Caroline shared it on our Twitter, but the website full link is blacklivesmatters.carrd.co. So definitely go there, check it out. And there are a lot of other charities to help show your support. One that I wanted to shout out that I thought was really fantastic, and we were definitely not asked to promote this. It's just one that I found online that I thought was really, really awesome. But a lot of indie game developers have created bundles for charity where you can get 742 different games.
Good Lord.
By donating a minimum of $5. It's a donate as much as you want. Minimum is $5, and all the money will go to 2 different charities that help promote racial justice and equality. And no, I thought that was really fantastic. It's on itch.io. If you go to that website, it's on the front page. But I can also make a link on our Discord or in our show notes to if you're on one of those, if it would be easier for you to find it through that way. But yeah, there are a lot of games on there that I've talked about in the past, and tons more that I haven't heard of before. So yeah, I thought it was a great way to help show your support while also getting some games also. So check that out. And thanks, guys. Just it's been a very, very stressful time, and yeah, just love each other.
Okay, well said. Thank you. Well, having said that, are we ready to move on to the show?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
it's time for big news of the week.
So the big news of the week is show writer of the Netflix Cowboy Bebop teases similarities and changes to the live action. Apparently this is from an interview with writer Javier Grillo. I'm so sorry. Did I mispronounce that?
I'm not exactly sure either. I think it's Javier, probably.
Javier? Okay, so sorry if I mispronounced that. But the similarities so far that they have mentioned are that Ein will be a corgi.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen pictures of Ein. He's so adorable.
Oh, good.
Is that a corgi or is that an Ein plushie in your background?
I mean, what's the difference? Let's find out.
Hey. Okay. Oh, here he goes. Mason is now going back on camera, getting his.
Oh, good. It's a plushie. I couldn't see it. Oh, that's adorable.
It's like, do you have the most still unmoving corgi in the world sitting back there? That would be great. If
I
it was a
remember
real corgi.
one time Mason was mentioning that he wanted a corgi, so I wasn't sure if they got one. It was just asleep, but I couldn't see. So that's adorable. But
it's a cutie patootie.
the show's style and substance will be the same as the anime. He said that if you are doing Cowboy Bebop, you're doing Cowboy Bebop, and the characters will still smoke. Apparently, they're not censoring any of that out, and but it won't be an emphasis of the show. That's weird.
Yeah, I guess they don't want to like promote cigarette smoking because you don't even see commercials.
Gotcha.
But I guess. I assume there'll be like a shot of maybe the first shot of Spike will be smoking, which would probably be appropriate, I would guess, because that's what he would do constantly.
Some of the differences are that they are toning down Faye's costume on Netflix. Did you have a note here that you wanted to?
Oh no,
mention?
I just made different comments like throughout, just from my own memory. But I don't know. It's like, is Netflix really in the habit of being careful with like adult content? I mean, I know she's kind of risque, but
I don't think so. But also, maybe it was the actresses. Maybe they didn't.
Maybe.
I don't know.
It could be. I mean, her outfit is. It's definitely odd. I'll just say it's odd. It's kind of an odd outfit.
Maybe it's just really uncomfortable.
Or it might be.
I don't know. But that's interesting, though. Other teases are that they have written for 2 of the show's villains so far, including one of the standouts, which is probably Vicious. And who could the other one be? We don't know.
I don't know. Is there another villain in Cowboy Bebop that we know of other than Vicious? There's like the Syndicate. Do you think it's like a Syndicate person? Like
Fridge monster.
There's like the... Okay, so all right, wait a second. So there's like the... There's a villain in like every episode, pretty much, right? And there's the guy that looks like the Penguin from Batman, Pierre something. I don't know who it is.
Also, the show will tell the broader story of the series' characters. They're trying to write the villains more into the main story narrative. They also said the entire first season is meant to be watched together, so most likely the series will not release until the entire first season is complete. And the production on the first season was on hold in New Zealand after lead actor John Cho's onset knee injury in October. I remember that. Didn't we report on that?
Yeah, he like destroyed his knee. Like I don't know what he did to it, but he tore his ACL for sure. Or maybe it was both ACL and MCL. I don't know. I feel bad for the guy.
I think we mentioned
made out of
that.
metal.
He's made out of metal. Yeah, we did. We did mention it.
Oh,
we mentioned
sorry.
it. We mentioned it. You're right.
It's also following the shutdown due to the new coronavirus disease. Not disease. It's a virus, but the episodes will be 1 hour each. There are no plans to end the show after a certain duration of episodes, and a second season is being planned right now. And also, Yoko Kanno seems to be at least somewhat involved in the music production.
So I have a question for you guys. They said that the show will tell a broader story of the characters, but what do you think that might be? Because I don't recall there being much other story of the characters other than, I mean, Bebop was an original anime if I recall, and they made a manga afterwards that I read some of, and I didn't think it was very good. But do you think this is more story that's like not part of the original Bebop, or are they taking like some flashback scenes and just expanding on them and making them more, meatier, I guess? What do you Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
My assumption would be they're going to spend less time on the more episodic nature of, oh, we are going to get this bad guy this episode or this bad guy this episode, and just make it more about their lives traveling through the space. And like you said, maybe flesh out the backgrounds a bit more. But yeah, it's not like there's a lot of stuff to expand on that like the original didn't talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing more of like Jet's history as a police officer and more of Faye. What was Faye's backstory? She got like frozen or something. I don't remember Faye exactly.
Spoilers.
Oh, come on now.
I just want to see more spaceship scenes. Like I just want before them on the ship being the characters that they are. Like if we get more of that, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, Netflix I think they're going to do a good job with this. It sounds like they're doing a good job. You know, they seem to have their full weight behind it. They've already committed to a second season pretty much. At least I've read that twice now. But like I think Netflix they seem to do 2 seasons of everything. So I don't know if that means a whole lot, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I think that we have a good chance of having something really good. Although I think fans everywhere are kind of scared, but
Oh yeah, especially after Death Note, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, there was that. But I mean, even though Death Note was so big, like Bebop, I just feel like is way bigger than Death Note.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So maybe not in like money making capacity, but like in the importance to anime, I feel like I hope that the creators understand that and that they've taken extra care to do it. Like kind of like how Final Fantasy VII was just the remake was just so good. You know, I feel like there is a way to do most things the right way. So I'm looking forward to it. All right. Well, now that we have that out of the way, shall we move on?
Mm-hmm.
I guess so.
All right. Well, Mason is going to continue talking to you about food because that's what Mason does best. He is the king of food. And we're going to be doing that on Living Big in Japan.
日本のいいとこ見てみよう It's time to live big in Japan.
All right, food monster. Let's go.
So last week I talked about sushi, and enough people wanted me to talk about ramen next.
Ooh,
so here we go. If you ever want to know what it's like when this podcast goes to Japan, like here's what we're doing. Like Mids, he's probably in the arcades.
Yes.
He's probably getting naked in the bathhouses. You know what he do.
Yes, that's right.
And so he's probably going to karaoke or going to like Takeshita Street in Harajuku, looking at some fashion. Mandi, I don't know, she's probably looking at some figures or visiting anime meccas. Like I'm not really sure what everyone does because I'm too busy eating. If you've ever seen the anime Miss Koizumi Loves Ramen, that character is me IRL, like to a T. It's very frightening. I love it. But how do you eat ramen? That's what everyone wants to know. So I'm going to work kind of backwards a little bit. So first up is ordering. Obviously, if you are going to the big cities, Osaka, Tokyo, Nagano, Kyoto, Yokohama, any of those big cities, they're going to have English menus. So don't worry about having any of that weird stuff. But for the most part, no matter where you are, you're going to be ordering from a ticket machine outside.
I love it.
It makes it very easy. You can use Google Translate on your phone if there isn't English for some weird reason. But if you just look up and know the kanji for the 4 main kinds, salt, soy sauce, pork, and miso, and as well as kanji for small and big, you're golden. But the best way is just ask either the workers there or someone in line, just say osusume, and like point at the board. And that essentially just says, what do you recommend? Give me what you're known for. And that also works for sushi, which I didn't mention last episode. Just say osusume, point at the thing, and they'll hit you up. If no one's there, go ahead.
If I may interject on a language real quick, try to learn katakana before you go to Japan because it's on every sign and it'll be on the ticket machine too. So it may help you just in general, but it may also help you order. And let's be honest, you can learn katakana in like 10 days.
A week.
Yeah. So
always helps. But if not, worst comes to worst. If no one's around to help you, usually the topmost row, usually in bigger buttons of the ticket machines, are like the most recommended stuff. So when in doubt, just look at it, pick something that seems ramen priced, and you'll be good to go. It's going to be between 800 to 1,300 yen, which with a 100-to-1 conversion is $8 to $13. You put in your money, you grab your ticket, and you go get a seat. easy. Now, when it
Easy
comes to
peasy.
eating the ramen, you're gonna be, I just put the noodles in my mouth. Yes, it's not as complicated. It's not as ticky tacky as sushi. Do you have a question, Mitz?
I want you to include a section here where you include that you must be stopped.
Okay,
Like
I
you
can
did,
do
like
that.
because I loved it last time.
Gotcha.
That's my
Uh,
suggestion.
so you're gonna go there, and there's nothing proper about doing things. But I will say, at the end of the day, you are there to eat. Ramen is not socializing time. When it comes out, the moment it comes out is the optimum ramen time to eat because the noodles will continue to cook. They will deteriorate in quality, and you can take your phone out, take your photo, sample the broth really quick, but don't be chatting out with everyone else. Don't be. You're there for one thing. Just devote your body and mind to the process and get in and get out. Um, you're going to have been waiting outside possibly, and you need to think about all your comrades out in the cold who are just waiting to enjoy this ramen. And you don't want to be inconsiderate to them. You want to get in, enjoy your ramen, and get out so that the ramen teammates that we all are can get in there. Like if you watched Azokin, there's that scene where the three girls order ramen and they come out one at a time and they don't wait for the other persons to come out because they know that's ramen time. And as soon as it comes out, they're like, okay, I'm taking a time out from this conversation. I'm digging in. And you don't wait. So eat your ramen, enjoy your ramen, and get out. Slurp, do all that good stuff, whatever. The key to ramen, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna recommend that if you are someone with very long hair like I do, maybe tie it back because you will get it inside your ramen.
That's pro strats right
Yummy.
there. That's actually a really good call. I did not consider that. But yeah, I mean, get in, get out. If you're one of those people who are just lounging around, especially at like the really poppin' places where they're moving people in, and you're just chatting it up and just, I don't know, just wasting everyone's time. You need to be stopped and get out of.
Yeah,
those
yeah.
So I had to shoot Hornet. As far as how do I find a good ramen place? Where do I go? The easiest way is just look for lines. If people are lined up outside for any restaurant, that's a good sign. You want to be standing in lines in Japan.
Mutekiya.
That's a quintessential Japanese experience, and it means you're on the fast track to someplace that's really good. If you're with a group of people, make sure you stand with your whole party in there. Don't like save the spot for other people because that messes up the restaurant as they try to plan seat arrangements. Be excited in line. Don't be unruly. Be considerate. Just let the fate guide you though. Like, don't go too much onto like Yelp or like restaurant. Just go where the smells are. Whatever just passes your mind. The best ramen place I went to in all of Japan was literally just because on our trip someone wanted Koko Ichiban, and on the way there I saw this other place. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna check that out later. It was game changing. So it's not hard to find good ramen. I did not enjoy ramen at all when I first went to Japan. I was a ramen non-believer, but I was swayed. Last little thing, there are thinner broths and thicker broths. There are a couple vegan options nowadays, so that's starting to be an option. A lot of people have talked about Ichiran, which is the place with you get like the not single serving, like the booths with like the
dividers.
Things, dividers. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like McDonald's at that place. Like it's cool for the experience and the concept of, oh, I could get it, and it's just a weird thing. It's not as good though. It's not. I don't recommend Ichiran. It's an experience, but it's not tasty. If so, quick 2-second recommendations. If you like thinner broths, in Osaka you got Boko Kishi, which has chicken ramen. You have a furry, which is a citrus ramen, and you have a soba house, Konji Hiko to Gisu, which is Shio ramen in Tokyo. I know I butchered that. I'll post links in the show notes. If you like thicker broths, in Osaka you have Hanamaru Ken, you have Tokyo, which is the best Skemen of all time, and you have Mutakiya, which is the pork mecca of the world. So that's my beginner's guide to ramen. Do you have any thoughts?
Was the place you went that was the best place you went to the one that was right next to our like hotel hostel place in where were we?
In Shin Osaka?
Kyoto?
I
can't remember where it was exactly. It might have been us.
In Shin Osaka, there's a place right down the road, the Tokyo place, which is Skemen, which is where the broth is served separately from the noodles, and you like dip the noodles in and then you pull them out, and it's oh my goodness, I still have all sorts of dreams about that on the daily. It's amazing, and I love it. And I don't know. The only reason I want to go to Osaka again on our next trip is just to visit this place because it's just that good. So that's it. That's how it be.
All right, well, always leave it to Mason to always bring you an information-packed segment of Big in Japan. But man, ramen is so good in Japan, and it's just, oh man, I don't know. They just know how to do it, you know? Like, I go to places in Denver, and like, the egg isn't quite right, or the pork's not cooked enough. Like, when I go to get ramen in Japan, it's almost always just how I want it. And so when I go back, it's going to be a curry and ramen festival for sure. Endless.
Oh, there you go.
And which one of those is superior? I don't know, but they're both fantastic every time. Well, are we ready to move over to Does Mitsugi's Mom Know? Which, by the way, will be the last, not ever, but the last installment for a little while because I'm now out of questions after this game. Are we ready to move over to that?
Sounds good, because my light broke and I'm trying to fix it.
Gotcha. All right, well, let's do that real quick. Let's start the game. It's time for Does Mitsugi's Mom Know? The game show that pits Mitsugi's unassuming mother against anime's most basic questions. Now here are your hosts, the Anime Addicts. Welcome back, Does Mitsugi's Mom Know? The game show where you have to guess whether or not my mother knows the answer to anime's most basic questions. And on the line with us today is a frequent poster on our Discord, and indeed a true hero. Hero Yu. I want to say Yui, but I don't think that's quite right. Introduce yourself, please.
It actually is. That is correct. It is Hideyobi135. My name is Matthew, by the way.
Hi,
Awesome.
welcome.
Yeah, welcome. And where are you calling from?
Sacramento, California.
All right. My neighbor just across the mountains. So, well, welcome to the game. I know that you know the rules of the game because I'm sure you've been listening to the podcast for a while and you've heard this game probably 15 times now. But I'm going to give the rules anyway just for people at home. My mother, she's seen more anime than most people her age, but she doesn't know the answer to all of these simple questions in anime. She's very unpredictable. And so your job is to predict whether or not she knows the answer to some questions that, of course, most anime fans know the answer to, but she is very unpredictable. So, are you feeling lucky today?
Let's see, because A, you're not doing this for a little bit afterwards, so I do want to write this on a two-game winning streak and not start another slide.
That's true. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, and my mother will come around at some point, and we will make sure to noodle her brain a little more to see if we can get some more questions going, so we can keep the fun rolling. But why don't we go to our sample question first here, just so we can get a little warm up. No pressure here. Are you ready to play?
Yeah.
In Attack on Titan, Sasha is obsessed with what kind of food? Sasha, otherwise known as Potato Girl.
So the answer would be potatoes. I'm going to say she knows.
All right, my mother knows of the legend of Sasha the Potato Girl, and
yeah,
a lot
because it's not like it's prevalent in the series. So I'm going to say she knows. I'm going to lock it in.
All right.
Ooh, confident.
In
I like
Attack
it.
on Titan, Sasha is obsessed with what kind of food?
Another one I've never seen. But I'll say ice cream.
She loves potatoes.
Well, that's dumb.
Adding a bit of commentary. Mason's like, whoa.
Oh, that's dumb.
Listen,
not
I thought you listened to the show. I did a whole waifu wars on Sasha back in November. Where's her AAA credibility? I'm
I don't
calling
know.
into question now. Come on.
She does pop into the chat from time to time, so maybe people will give her Fs in the chat. All right, so are you ready to start the game for real, hero? Be our hero,
Yeah.
okay? I have faith in
Yeah.
you. All right.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's do it. Here comes your first question.
What color is Saitama's hair from the anime One Punch Man?
That's a trick question.
Of course it is.
You're all right. Yeah. Well, it's hard to miss Saitama because everyone knows One Punch Man. So I'm gonna say she knows.
So much like me, much like myself, she knows
Yeah.
of the squeaky persuasion.
Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna lock it in.
He's just
Wait,
gonna
can
lock it in.
I ask a question here? We're not accepting bald as an answer because bald is not a hair color.
I
Are
think
we asking
that's-
hairstyle or hair color?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Also, we do see a flashback of him with black hair. So
That's what I'm saying. The answer should be black.
Mason's being very technical with this.
I just want to know what we're counting as good or bad.
Yeah.
Well, the answer I was looking for in the question was bald, if that helps you, because that is his representation for most of the anime. So, with that
I say if she says bald or black, it counts.
Okay. All right. Well, let's find out. There are many hair colors in anime.
What color is Saitama's hair from the anime One Punch Man?
What color hair? Flesh, because he's bald.
Wow, you got it. Good job, just like me.
No.
All right. We are on the board. All right. Ruckus
I was just trying to
ruckus
cover his
applause.
bases, you know?
Ruckus applause from the children. They know Saitama. He's great with the kids. All right, Hero. You're doing great so far. Are you ready for your second question?
Yeah, let's go.
In Evangelion, what is the name of Shinji's father? I'll accept the first or the last name.
Once again, I have to look at the common knowledge part, and people know the relationship between Shinji and Gendo, so I'm gonna continue the yes train and say she knows.
I'm sitting here with my hands folded, just like Gendo himself. All right. I'm locking you in. She knows it.
Yeah, she knows.
In Evangelion, what is the name of Shinji's father? I'll accept the first or the last name.
So I will say his first name is Naburo.
No, his name is Gendo Ikari.
Oh, of course, I should have known that.
She should have known that one. Well, we can't win them all, so. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm sure she's seen Evangelion, but I think it was such a long time ago and gets discussed so seldom in my household that I think that she just can't remember, which I can't blame her because Gendo's kind of an asshole. All right, so are you ready for your third question? Let's not keep you cold for too long here.
Yeah, let's keep going.
In Grave of the Fireflies, what food does Seita try to feed Setsuko at the end of the film?
If you've seen it, you know it's watermelon.
Yeah, but how many people actually remember that? Even though it is one of the most iconic movies out there. I'm going to say she's not going to know because she's going to guess a different fruit.
Oh, do you have a guess? So you say she won't know it, but for street cred, do you have a guess as to what food she will predict?
Like an apple.
An apple. Okay.
Something really basic.
I figured.
I wonder if
might
it'd be
guess those, like-
candy.
yeah, those little gumdrops.
candy,
Yeah.
All right. Well, she doesn't know it. Am I locking you in?
Yeah, lock me in.
I'm gonna cross my fingers for you.
In Grave of the Fireflies, what food does Seita try to feed Setsuko at the end of the film?
Rice. Like a rice slurry.
He tries to feed her watermelon cubes, but she dies while she's trying to eat it.
All right. I love it. And here we go. Okay. All right. Pipe down. Gosh, they're so excitable. Hero, you are doing a great job. You are one question away from winning this dang game 2 in a row, and that's how we want to end it here as we take our short break from the game. So much like an athlete with your brain, I don't want to keep you cold. So are you ready for for your fourth question for the win?
Yeah, deal me in.
In Dragon Ball Z, in or on what type of commonly seen geography, such as a valley, does Master Roshi live?
Ooh. Ooh, that's very specific. Ooh. Let's see. Everyone knows Dragon Ball, but there's some of the details you don't know about. I'm going to say she doesn't know.
I would say she doesn't know either.
Mandy backing you up. All right.
Yeah, I don't
All
think
right.
she doesn't know.
She doesn't know. Am I locking you in?
Yeah, full send it.
All right, let's go.
In Dragon Ball Z, in or on what type of commonly seen geography, such as a valley, does Master Roshi live?
He lives on an island.
That's right, the Kame House.
Oh, she's giving you the. She's playing hard to get here. So, yeah, I guess there's just too many scenes from Dragon Ball on the stupid island that he lives on. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, now as the game often does, it comes down to the final question, and the chat is definitely cheering you on here.
Before we give this final question, because we didn't give it to him earlier, can we give the good luck message from her?
Oh, you're right.
Good luck,
I think we
lucky
need it
player.
here.
With me, it's you never know.
There you go. When you
Just
need
rooting
it
for
most. Here comes your final question. There's no nothing after this. It's either you win or you lose. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
In Spirited Away, what animal is San's parents turned into?
I'm gonna
God.
I'm gonna let you twist in the wind here while I listen.
Oh man. Again, Spirited Away, one of the well-known Miyazaki movies. There's so many animals she could say wrong, and this is kind of like the island question. Where I was just hoping she would say something else, but not the exact answer. Oh God.
So much pain in your voice.
I love it. I love it. You're getting good mojo from Nuclear Burger in the Twitch chat, who won last time, giving you.
You can do it.
She doesn't know. Final answer.
He's gonna say she doesn't know. I'm locking
I
you
would
in.
guess yes. I think she will.
I'm pushing my chips in.
Oh, he pushed his chips in. Okay, well, there's no going back from that. Here we go. I wish you luck.
In Spirited Away, what animal is San's parents turned into?
Pigs.
That's right, because they're little piggies.
No!
Banking on another.
You're really close though.
You were so close. Well, even though you didn't win, you were a very fine guest today.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And you did come to the rescue when the world needed you most.
That's right, because we had no player as of about an hour ago. So thank you so much for joining us, and maybe we'll have you on again down the line, and we'll see if you can redeem yourself.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, of
Thanks
course.
for coming.
Thanks for being a
thank you.
fan. Oh, that Spirited Away question. Oh, man. It happens right at the beginning of the movie. So there we go, as we go back into our call here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that Spirited Away question happens right at the beginning of the movie. So it's, that's probably why she remembers it, because it happens right off.
Yeah. I was gonna say she probably does know it because I'm going to assume this is probably one of the Ghibli movies she's probably seen the most of, probably.
Yeah, I saw that movie in theaters last year. It's so good. So it's just ridiculous. All right. Well, I'm sorry that Hiro Yui didn't win, but he is a fine member of our Discord. So, and if anybody else wants to come join our Discord, you also will have probably a much higher likelihood of being able to play the game as well, since we often shout out on Discord to get players. So, all right, let's move on.
Alrighty. So up next we have our website trivia. Website trivia. If you go to aaapodcast.com, scroll down there is a picture there that is taken from an image from an anime. It's a tiny little cropped clip of one. And there is a theme. And if you can guess what anime that is from, then you can win prizes. And the answer for last week was Full Moon wo Sagashite. I think the English is just Full Moon, though. Am I correct with that?
Searching for the Full Moon is the.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yep.
I have the manga, but I think the manga is just called Full Moon.
Yeah. and
But the sorry.
maybe the only anime more depressing than Clannad.
Yeah, it's an old shoujo manga. It's very sad. But yeah, the winner for this one was Chibi Rob,
All right.
who I know loves it, so that's very fitting.
It is good. It's very good.
The month winner, because now we have finished, the month was Mochi Mochi. So congratulations.
Holy moly, it must be my birthday.
All right.
And now the current theme is Mason's lesser known favorites.
I think we're just gonna go through all of them because I mean, why not?
I
That
picked
sounds
some
funny.
easy ones. I could have made some tough calls, but I made them easy for you
There is
guys.
some collusion here. I was not asked.
Yeah.
But you will
yeah.
be.
Okay, cool. But yeah, so join up and you can win prizes. So with that, we are going to go into our break, and we have a weekly trivia question for you, which we will answer after the break. The question is, Geno Studio was formed out of the ashes of another studio to finish the 2017 movie adaptation of Genocidal Organ. What studio was originally working on the film?
What a
Stick
title.
around, we'll answer it. Yeah, never heard of it.
Big Moody.
Big Moody.
See you guys after the news break. Hey everybody, this is Mitsugi, and it's time for that wonderful time, your anime news break. Getting started off with some Kakushi Goto news. The manga will be ending in July on July 6th, and the next issue of Monthly Shonen Magazine. The synopsis of the manga, Kakushi Goto is a somewhat popular manga artist whose works are known for inappropriate content, but they're very raunchy. And when his daughter Hime was born, he vowed to keep his profession secret from her, believing that she would be somewhat disillusioned if she found out. So this belief leads Kakushi into hectic situations. Despite being a single father, he does his best and often resorts to extreme ends just to protect his secrets, such as guising as a salaryman every day or holding emergency drills in case Hime somehow finds her way to his workplace. So if you're a fan of Kakushi Goto, savor that manga. It's going to be ending in less than a month. Next up, Studio Ghibli is, I guess, announcing another film produced by Miyazaki's son, Goro Miyazaki, Aya Tomajo, the anime film. It's going to be coming out in the winter of 2020, which is somewhat of a surprise. Again, directed by Goro Miyazaki, planned by Hayao Miyazaki, and the producer, of course, Toshio Suzuki. It's a CG 3D anime film that is based on Diana Wynne Jones's children's novel Earwig and the Witch. So definitely looks like a children's movie, as most Ghibli films are. The synopsis: not every orphan would love living at St. Morward's home for children, but Earwig does. When she gets whatever she wants, whenever she wants, and it's been that way since she was dropped into the orphanage as a baby. But all that changes the day Bella Yaga and the Mandrake come to St. Morward's disguised as foster parents. Earwig is whisked off to a mysterious house full of invisible rooms, potions, spellbooks, magic around every corner. Most children would run in terror from a house like that, but not Earwig. So it sounds like a witch and magic fantasy anime. So if you're a fan of Studio Ghibli, as I am, look forward to Aya Tomajo coming out in the winter of 2020. Next up, there are more nominees announced for the Eisner Awards. Beastars, Cats of the Louvre, and Magic Knights Rayearth, the 25th anniversary edition, are all nominated. So this is pretty compelling stuff, as the Eisner Award is a pretty big honor to be given. Comic-Con International announced the nominees on Thursday. It looks like voting is open to all comic book industry professionals until June 18th, and the winners will be announced in July. So it looks like this was somewhat delayed due to COVID and the lockdown. So but it's still happening. So if you're a fan of Beastars, which came out in the anime pretty recently, look out for perhaps it winning the Eisner Award whenever they announce that later on in the summer. Next up and lastly, Shueisha reveals the 2019 circulation numbers for manga magazines. We had previously discussed how Shonen Jump magazine was, barely breaking 1.6 million copies in circulation on average per month. Well, here are the final numbers. Weekly Shonen Jump, 1.64 million copies in circulation per month. V Jump, 167,000. Sakyo Jump, 130,000. Jump SQ, 170,000. Weekly Young Magazine, clearly number 2 on the list here, with 450,000. Grand Jump with 160,000. So it just looks like, as we all I think know, Shonen Jump magazine is just more than all the other magazines combined. It seems like. And then in the women's category, demographics for girls and women's magazines, far less sales. Ribbon, 137,000, leading the way, with others such as Cookie, Margaret, The Margaret, Coco Hana, all coming in under 100K. So if you're a fan of these magazines, well, they don't really seem to be doing all that well, but hopefully they can somehow transition to online and continue to function the way they have been for years. This is Mitsugi, and this was your anime news break. And now, as we always do, it's time to get back to the podcast.
After Parties Hobby Addicts Hentai Episodes. After Parties Hobby Addicts Hentai Episodes. After Parties Hobby Addicts Hentai Episodes.
What in the world are you two doing? I'm trying to sleep here. It's midnight.
We're using Mandi's arcane power to do a content prayer dance.
Yeah, we're hoping the content gods bless us with thrilling entertainment for the fans.
Content prayer dance. There's a much easier way to make better content. How about starting with studying our vast archive of additional content on AAApodcast.com?
Oh, I already have. I mean, it's only $7 a month for almost 8 additional episodes every month.
That's less than $1 per extra episode and super easy to get to. Just gotta type aapodcast.com/join to become a member.
You went through the whole archive? It's hundreds of hours.
Well, Senpai, anything's possible.
If you believe.
I think I'll just leave you two alone.
Hey, is he gone yet?
Yeah, ready.
Yeah. After Parties Hobby Addicts Hentai Episodes. After Parties Hobby Addicts Hentai Episodes.
この番組は JList.com の提供でお送りします。
From that song, just so jamming. Welcome back to episode 527 of the AAA podcast, where we left you with an intro weekly trivia question, and that was: Geno Studio was formed out of the ashes of another studio to finish the 2017 movie adaptation of Genocidal Organ. What studio was originally working on the film? The answer: Studio Manglobe. And the best trivia questions like this, it makes sense now. They were called Geno Studio if they were made to make Genocidal Organ. So I don't know that for sure, but I assume that. So there you go.
I should also note my mother was in the chat watching, and she mwahahaed as she put the soul in her jar. So she collects another one. Yeah, she.
Hello, podcast mom.
Yeah. All right. Well, now, as we always do, it's time for Mandi's Manga Minute with a very cute manga cover.
Yeah.
So, shall we dive right in?
Let's do it.
And now, let's take a minute for the Manga Minute with Mandi.
This is Mandi's Manga Minute, where I take a minute to tell you about a manga and help you find something new to read. And if you were looking at the show notes and you saw Not Your Idol last week, I changed it, but don't worry, that one is coming back, I promise. But now that we are in Pride Month, I decided that for this month, I'm going to do all my manga minutes based on LGBT manga. So this one is called Love Me for Who I Am. High school student Tetsu Iwaoka notices that his classmate Mogumu is always alone at school. Wanting to give Mogumu a chance to make some friends, Tetsu invites Mogumo to work at his family's maid cafe. Although Mogumo is initially enthusiastic, there is just one problem. This is a girly boy cafe, but Mogumo is adamant about being neither a boy nor a girl. So, Love Me for Who I Am is a comedy drama written and illustrated by Kata Konayama. It began publishing in 2018, and it's still ongoing, but it just recently released in English, both digitally and in print. I just got my copy on Kindle just last week, so it's brand new over here. But Mogumo appears to be a very lonely high school student, and their classmate Tetsu decides to try and befriend Mogumo by inviting them to work at his cafe. And the cafe is called an Otokonoko Cafe, or a cross-dressing boys cafe. Mogumo is a bit conflicted with this, however, because they do not identify as a boy or a girl. And while Mogumo is non-binary, they discover that the cafe is run by LGBTQ folks of all different kinds, and they all have their different reasons for wanting to work at this cafe. And the characters welcome Mogumo to work with them, but they do occasionally butt heads. And the manga explores gender, sexuality, presentation, and understanding from different angles. I've only read the first volume so far, because that's all that's out over here in English, but I definitely plan on continuing it. It does have some cute comedic moments, but and also some very hard-hitting drama as well. It may not be set up to be like an educational manga, like say The Bride Was a Boy was, but I still found it to be an important manga that helps to push for understanding and acceptance. So check that one out.
Yeah.
I don't have any physical manga to show off today, but
Well, that's okay. I put the cover. I at least put the cover on the Twitch, so people watching
awesome.
live can see the cover art. So, all right. Well, without further ado, moving from that, and again, thank you, Mandi, for the recommendation. We will move into Mason's anime arguments because, well, he's a spicy boy. We all know it. You ready? Are you ready, Mason?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to Anime Arguments, where if you have a hot take, unpopular opinion, or tough question that you want to express, go to the AAA mailbag. Just go to our website, go to the mailbag, click on the arguments, and submit yours. Like Cream Puff did, we actually have a double feature from Profiterole today.
Oh.
And I'm going to need Mandy's assistance on these as well. So let's see what we got. Number one, they write, both Bakano and the Flowers of Evil are objective 8.5s out of 10 and deserve second seasons. So I gave both of these series a 7. So if you want to be a pure numbers guy, I guess you know that you have a 1.5 Mason conversion rate. So that's how you share between our list. Obviously, first of all, Flowers of Evil, absolutely. Yeah, I definitely could. I want more of that. I know it barely has touched on where the manga goes, which Mandi has read. So would you want to see more of that in anime form?
Let me think about this for a second.
Oh boy.
First of all, objective? I don't know about that. I don't know about objective scores. I've said that before. I don't agree with these so-called objective scores. But see, I haven't seen Bakano, so that one I can't speak for.
Gotcha.
But
I'll speak on that one then.
Flowers of Evil, they changed a lot in the anime. They took out a lot of the really there's some really dark moments that they took out, which I actually appreciated that they took those out, because when I read the manga I was like, this is a train wreck. But it was one of those train wrecks that you can't look away from, like a lot of Oshimi's mangas. But there is a whole lot more past where the anime ended. Like there's a lot more to that story that I definitely think it could use a second season. I'm curious how they would do that though, knowing how much they removed, or I don't know. I definitely think, yeah, it definitely would benefit from a second season.
Yeah, and it ended with like that flash montage of like all the future events.
Yes.
So like I want it. I definitely take more Flowers of Evil. It looks great. Don't listen to the haters. As far as Bakano, no, I don't want any more of that show. It's a good show. I recommend it. But part of what made it so strong is that it stuffed like a simple plot into small boxes and like shuffled them around, and it gave it like a really frenzied pace that was it succeeded the show. It made it kind of convoluted and fun. And I think a lot of other Narita-verse shows, such as Durarara, like they go on with more seasons, and I kind of just fall myself falling out of favor with it, and it starts to drag. And I'm just like, when it was tight, when it was pressed for time, it told a really fun story. And I think if it was more, it would kind of lose that kinetic energy and become less good. So Bakuno's fine. I don't need any more of it.
I mean, I think that Bakuno was great. I think it's actually, I'd give it better than an 8.5. I don't know if, I just don't know if the story would support a second season. Like, I feel like I want one, but I don't know that I don't know that it makes sense for the story. So I don't know, but it's really damn good. And Mandy, you should definitely watch it. It's real short.
Yeah, it's just really hard to find because it's not anywhere legally. Like, I even looked to see if I could buy Blu-rays or DVDs of it, and there isn't one. Like, I think they're like stupid expensive. So
it's one of those.
I don't know. I'll try sometime. I'm having the same issue with Hajime no Ippo. It's really hard for me to watch not so legal. But I'll jump on it eventually.
That's like Bakuno I could see because it's kind of like this. I don't know if it's obscure, but it's kind of like less seen. Hajime no Ippo is so mainstream compared to
Isn't
most.
it? I think it's so weird. They never brought the manga over here. I don't know if it ever had a DVD brought over. I have no idea. It's not streaming anywhere. That blows my mind. Sorry,
Come on,
not to hijack.
Come on, Madhouse. We want it.
Not to hijack your segment.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No worries.
Well, I know back in the day I thought I rented those off Netflix, but maybe I'm wrong. But not that means
they have time stuff. Sometimes it goes off of broadcast. So
this was years ago, so that doesn't mean much now. But yeah. Okay.
Second argument is that Diego Brando is a better villain than Dio. I'm, of course, referring to Diego from a JoJo villain from Part 7, and Dio, a villain from Parts 1 and 3. So this is a great topic. I will not dive deep into it because I don't want to spoiler as of yet unreleased anime stuff. But here's my thoughts. The better character, and I will say you specified better villain. The better character is Diego. I think his backstory, his motivations, his internal struggle, he's a lot more nebulous. He's a lot more about him. Diego is a better character.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going with a better power,
villain?
If we're going like their stand power, I think Dio's has a more like conceptually interesting one that our heroes have to overcome. Though I will say Diego's visually looks cooler. True, to a point. But I'm going to say when I first think of Diego's power, I think it looks cooler, but it isn't as interesting as Dio's. The better design as far as like how they look, I don't like either of their designs, to be honest.
I like Diego.
He just has a jockey uniform on. It's kind of whatever. I feel like the Dio all over his face, like his outfit, is a little distracting. And I do like Dio just because of the body he's in, like what it physically is. Not in that way. I know you meant it that way. I just mean it in like what his body literally came from. That's cool. So that's a tie. Better looking, obviously Diego. But at the end of the day, the better villain, the one who's more memorable and more memeable, is Dio. So he's our boy.
For the moment. Until there's an anime.
7, we're going to get some crazy Diego stuff going on. My mind's open to change, but as of right now, Dio's still the king.
I'm a big fan of Diego. I mean, I like Dio too. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know, Diego. I think I also like him because I don't really consider him a villain. He's an antagonist for sure, and he's not a good guy. But he kind of has that. What am I trying to think of? He does good and bad things, for sure. And I'm trying
like
not to
an
spoil
anti-hero or something.
No, he's Diego. He's his own thing. He's his own animal.
He's definitely his own guy.
He's doing his own thing.
He's so good. Where he's like, he's not really a villain. He's definitely an antagonist. He's not a good guy, but he also he's not entirely bad. I don't know.
He's not out to harm the characters. He's out to make his life better. And if that just so happens to fuck everyone else over, c'est la vie.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how he is. He's very self-serving.
Gotcha.
And also dinosaurs. Need I say more?
right. Well, again, if you guys want to submit anime arguments, you can do that also via the mailbag button on the website. So pretty much everything through the mailbag button. So let them rip, guys. We do we do depend on you for listener submitted content for several of our segments, and we do use your suggestions and your ideas. So keep them coming. We love it. All right, so I don't know who came up with this idea, but we have anime in a shitty way, as it was written, or synopsis in a shitty way, which is, I've never played this game before, so I hope I did it right, but my understanding is basically we go to like my anime list or something and pull anime and take the synopses and make them kind of hard, like if your mom was explaining it or something, like she's kind of not understanding, it's maybe vague, I don't know. Twist it however you want to make it not so obvious. But so the way I wrote the rules here is that each host has prepared several, quote, shitty synopsi. I don't know if synopsi is a word, but I'm going to say it is. Each host reads their own shitty synopsis, and the other hosts try to guess what it is. So, fair enough?
Yeah, I wasn't really thinking of any strict rules when I came up with it. I was just like, what if we just think of an anime and try to explain the basic plot of it just in a really terrible way, just comedy.
Yeah.
We all did this in drastically different ways.
Probably, but yeah, some of mine are pretty short though, but they get to the point. So
yeah. So I just want you guys to know that all of mine came off my anime list, and I only picked shows that had been seen by at least 50,000 people on that website. So I tried to find ones that were like not super obscure. This is for the fans listening. They're not easy. Like I didn't pick easy, like super easy ones, but they're also not. They're not like things that people like no one has seen them. So most of mine are like just ridiculous. Just I use foul language. They're goofy, stupid, funny. I'm trying to be funny here. So here's a sample that I gave. My sample was, when I close my eyes at night, all I hear is the slap, slap, slap noise of sweaty butt cheeks colliding. If it was a real sport, I'd watch it.
Keijo,
I think, yeah. So I don't know if we want a point system to this or just goof on each other.
I'm just saying just goofing.
Yeah, I think just goofing is fine. So I got all mine here on the dock here. They're all in black. So
I have mine on my phone.
Yeah,
I've got mine on my notepad. So I think we can just cycle through. Mine are all very short. Like
mine are pretty short too.
Okay. Mandy, do you want to go next, or you want me to?
You can go ahead.
Okay. Here's my first one. It's takes place in school, and it's about a guy, and he's really cool. Like he's really cool.
Sakamoto.
Yep. We're starting easy.
All right, softballs. Well, let's all give a softball question. I'll try to find an easy one too.
Oh, a
Mandy?
softball one?
Well, he said he gave an easy one, so.
I'm trying to find an easy one on my list.
All right,
mine go from easy to hard.
I'll go next then, Mandy, and just so you have time to look. Okay. So this is this one anime where everybody rides in these like giant skin mechs, which make them really angry. Since despite being huge, they have no genitals at all, and I find that really sad.
Attack on Titan.
Attack on potatoes.
Bing bong. Ding. I should say ding dong. Yeah, Attack on Potatoes. So they have no genitals. They're so big.
It's true. My softball one was an extreme attempt to avoid child support leads to an adventure full of stranger danger.
That's Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, I guess I don't think I would have got that actually. Mason just comes in there hot. Is he right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Knowing that Mandy is wearing a Hunter x Hunter shirt at the moment might have been a helpful clue.
Oh, it's Hisoka. I see his face.
I'm just picturing the Titans. I'm just picturing the Titans now. There's the classic quote, like, I have no mouth, but I must scream. It's like, I have no wang, but I must pee.
They have no wang. There's nothing.
I don't know how it works. Anyway, here's my next one.
All right, Mason.
Very easy.
Okay.
This is what the plot is like. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Bang, 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 bang.
Senpai!
Is that Yoshiki?
Yes, it is. And Mitz points to Mitz for having that drop.
Oh, yeah.
Ready to go.
Of course. Hey, that anime wasn't, the story wasn't super great, but it entertained me a lot. So I don't know. It's looking at like naked old men flying around is a little weird. All right, so let's see. What else do I have here? I'm gonna try to pick another fairly easy one here. So, but I don't know that any of my other ones are super easy.
It's fine.
So, okay, there's one that my girlfriend wrote. Let me see if I can find it. So, Mandy, do you have one prepared? Because I'm trying to find the one that she wrote.
Yeah, I
in
can
here.
go. Chat is also loving the fact that my cat chose to sit on my stack of manga.
Of course,
She's
I
like
mean,
fitting herself on it.
she is now more appealing than all of us combined. So
Here we go. This one's a little dirty. So,
good.
girl eats boy out on first date without proper protection. Now boy is suffering from a terrible disease and coffee addiction.
Whoa. Girl eats boy out on the first date. Wait, what? Can you read that again?
Girl eats boy out on first date without proper protection. Now boy is suffering from a terrible disease and coffee addiction.
Oh man.
Don't look at the chat. It's cheating.
I'm not. I don't know what it is. Coffee addiction.
I don't know if you have seen it. Mason's seen a tiny bit of it, so it could be a problem where you guys haven't seen it.
It's like a vampire show.
Is
or
it
something?
It can't.
At first I thought like Pupa and then Gleipnir, but I'm like, no, that's the other way.
It can't be Blood
I don't
Sea. No, it's not Blood Sea.
No,
That's
You guys want the answer?
Yeah.
Tokyo Ghoul.
Oh,
Okay.
I have seen season 1 of that, so yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I guess that was fair.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I watched one episode, so I don't know about this coffee addiction.
Chat knew it. Smo Gizmo, first person in the chat to get that one. All right, I got one here. So this, my girlfriend wrote this one. She claimed she was very good at these, so I let her do one. What's that? This is verbatim from her. What's that one anime where that girl ends up going back in time and ends up in a love triangle with a dead girl and a guy with daddy issues and really long silver hair? Also he has brother issues on top of it all. Oh, and they do a whole lot of nothing.
There was so much to unpack in that one.
Yeah.
That guy
What's-
goes back in time.
What's that one anime where that girl ends up going back in time and ends up in a love triangle with a dead girl and a guy with daddy issues and long silver hair and also has a brother on top of it all? Oh, and they do a whole lot of nothing.
Is this Inuyasha?
It is Inuyasha.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
So
Another
I
show
will-
I've seen maybe 3 episodes of.
Yeah. Which Inuyasha, I watched 2 episodes of it this weekend because my girlfriend's watching it, and it is pretty good. I think it's
I
like
was gonna rewatch it too.
I think it's really, really good for a while, and then I think my problem was they truly just don't do a lot in it, so it's very long, but there's not a lot of content. So like the story episodes are awesome, and then like the filler episodes, I kind of lose my way. All right, Mason, but it's really good. Are you ready, Mason? Next one.
Yeah. This is a
Here we go.
cautionary tale of why you shouldn't have free-range humans.
Promised Neverland?
Yep.
Very nice. So fast, the chat had no shot. They have nothing. All right. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Very nice.
You want me to go?
Yeah, you might as well. I mean, I'm gonna try to pick out the next easiest one. So while you're going.
Here we go. Undead man attempts to take over the world, and he would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those meddling teenagers and their stupid dog.
Undead man.
I want to say JoJo, but
Overlord is he's the undead.
No, it's JoJo.
okay.
Oh, okay. Keep thinking skeleton man. Boy, these are going quick. We're too sharp at this.
I have a whole bunch of them, so I'm good.
Yeah, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. All right. I don't really know how to describe what I just watched, but this pink-haired girl pranced her titties around, cut off a dude's head, and peed herself, all in just the first 2 episodes. Wild stuff.
Elfin lead.
Yep.
I feel like we should give listeners a
Oh,
chance to
sorry.
consider. No, we're just flexing, and maybe I'm just saying, oh, I am dumb and I need to slow down, but
Oh,
They're
maybe
on somewhat of a
we'll edit in
delay
applause.
on. They're on somewhat of a delay on Twitch.
Sure, but I just
Um,
meant like listeners in general. They might want to try to play along more, and so they don't
Okay.
have to pause after every.
I'll
one.
if I know one, then I will pretend I don't know for a short period.
we can do a 5-second count.
Exactly, a 5 second.
All
right. Next one. This is another easy one, probably the last one of the easy ones. A lethargic workout nut who's balding.
Oh, wait.
Lethargic?
Workout nut.
Who's
I
balding?
mean, what could it be? Let's see. This is what I'm supposed to do.
Yes.
I mean, it very well could be One Punch Man.
And
Is
it
he
is. He's lethargic.
Is he? I mean, he is kind of
I
lazy.
don't remember him being lethargic. That's the part that was throwing me off.
Yeah, that's many people on Twitch are getting that one.
Mm.
All right. You're up, Mandy.
You want one that's really stupid?
I want all the stupid ones.
I think that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Did you know that my main character possesses the properties of both rubber and gum?
I thought
She's
I went.
doubling up. She's doubling up. But it's
Are you
okay.
doubling down on this? Rubber and gum. I don't know, Mason. What could it be?
I feel like it can't be Hunter x Hunter because I'm. It's probably Hunter x Hunter.
The Twitch chat is the split between two different shonen shows. So,
Maybe it's not.
Could Mandy
I'm bamboozled.
Does she have enough gusto to really go for the double on Hunter x Hunter? I'm gonna have to, knowing Mandy, I'm gonna have to say yes.
It's One Piece.
Oh,
It was meant to be Trixie.
God.
no, there
And
you
I'm
go.
not wrong.
She done did it.
Several people in the Twitch did get that one as well. Smo Gizmo is good at this, by the way. He's very quick at this. All right, so let's see here. Okay, so I know you guys will know this one, but I think this is in general a hard one. But I know you guys will know this. All these people go and they visit this doctor who has got to be the weirdest fucker I've ever seen. He's usually dressed like a bunny mascot, but sometimes his mascot is in the cleaners, and he just looks like this little kid. And I don't know how serious they were when they made this, because they keep running out of money and slipping into live action since boobs look better that way.
See, the thing is,
I don't think
it's
a
not
bunny.
really a shitty synopsis. That's pretty much
That's how it'd be.
it's pretty much exactly what it is.
I thought it was a bear though.
A what?
Not
It's
a bunny.
I looked up the picture.
Maybe it's a bunny. It's a big bunny costume.
I thought it was a
Maybe
bunny
I'm
as
thinking of
well.
a different show.
I mean,
Maybe.
it could be a bear, but it looks like a bunny to me. So
I think he's a bunny.
I think it's a bunny.
Can I
as well.
say it?
You can say it.
Cuchu Barranco?
That's it. Which is a really interesting show, by the way, and
Yeah, it's a really good show.
I love their use of their use of like live action footage, and that is just perfect. Like it
Yeah,
just
or
works.
trapeze.
Or
works
trapeze,
too.
yeah, it's super good.
That's the ears. Those look like bear ears to me.
I mean, I don't know exactly.
But it's got like the face of and like I don't know. Either way.
I mean, it could be a nothing,
People
just
know,
like
people know.
some kind of an animal thing. So I don't know. Icy Rose knew it. All right, of course.
I don't know. It's a weird one.
it's
is
definitely weird.
He's a weird little doctor dude. All right.
I got one a little bit tougher. Might have to think about it for a bit. This show is about taking an elevator after dancing through the skies. Mandy's too good at this. Mandy is too good.
This is like one of those old shows, right?
No, this is within the last decade.
Taking an elevator while dancing through the skies. I don't know.
Mandy, what is it?
Death Parade.
That's correct.
Wait, what? Can you explain those hints?
So at the end of every episode, after their judgment, they get in the elevator and they go up and down, and then "Dancing Through the Skies" is the opening song.
Oh shit, I didn't know the opening name. Okay, Well, very nice. That was a tricky one, at least for me.
We're trying.
Here's another dirty one. That's look. I think they're funny, but I also have really bad sense of humor. So
Well, my sense of humor is definitely like a teenager's, so bring it.
man manages to bring girl back to life by finally finding her magic spot.
Oh, I know it.
I don't know if I know this one.
I don't think you've seen this one.
I
so
knew
you
it.
won't.
I knew it immediately because we were listening to the theme song, which is really good, by the way, to this the other day, and I was talking about how I didn't realize what he was doing when I was a kid, but now that I look back
When you
on
first
it,
saw it, yeah.
now I'm like this show had some balls to go there.
Yeah.
It really did.
I have no
Mason's
idea.
still thinking. The chat knows it.
It's
but
Chobits.
It's yeah.
Mm.
He sticks his fingers in the happy spot to find the on switch. It could have been anywhere. It could have been like on her ear. It
He
could have
looked
been
all over. He tried everything. He couldn't find the on switch.
It could have been voice command. I mean, who puts the on switch? You think it's so that it's hard to turn her off? I guess maybe. But
Turn me on, baby.
yes. Jesus. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Here's one that is. I don't know which one of these last three are easiest or whatever, so I'm just gonna pick them in order. This is another one where maybe it's too easy because the synopsis is too on the nose. Some sick girl thinks that if she becomes a pop star, that this dude she likes might remember who she is, simply because, like in so many anime, they made a meaningless promise to each other a long-ass time ago when they were barely out of diapers. Chances are he isn't going to remember or even recognize her, since when she transforms into a singer, she doesn't even look remotely the same.
It's funny because
I
that
know
plot is like 8 shows.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean it's
Mandy's
not
raising
quite
her hand.
like the singer part, but like Nisukori and stuff like that is like the same. Oh, we made a promise as kids. Who remembers stuff like that?
Mandy's very sure she knows. Do you know, Mason?
I have an idea, but I don't.
Okay,
I
go
don't know.
go ahead, Mandy.
Full moon.
Full Moon.
Nope, that's not what I was thinking.
Yeah, which
Another
is
show I haven't seen.
well, it's a little long, but it's really good, but it is unbelievably depressing. So
I haven't seen it, but I read the manga though. I have the whole manga collection, so.
all right.
Here's another one that Mandy's gonna get in seconds.
Okay. Oh boy.
There's two of her favorite things crossed over.
Oh no.
I'm not going to sing it, but toss a coin to your delivery god.
It's funny because I also did one for this.
Ooh. Do you want to give it as well? And
Yeah.
just have it as a
Well,
second?
mine will make it a lot easier. Mine was a lot easier than that. But
Toss a coin to your delivery god.
If you can't get it, then I'll read mine.
Toss a coin, delivery god.
This is a little tough.
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
You might get it with mine. Homeless man cannot be trusted to spend his money wisely. He'll do anything for a single coin, though.
Rakugo?
No?
Isn't he homeless? I don't remember.
No?
I don't know.
Noragami. Oh, sorry, Mason.
Oh, Noragami.
No, it was a team
Okay.
effort. It was a team effort.
Noragami. Okay, yeah, it makes sense now. Oh, for anything for a coin. Okay, duh. Okay, I get it. All right, very nice. Wow, does that mean it's my turn again? Or I don't know. I only have 2 left. So if you have a lot more, you can just go again.
Okay, how about Skittles with superpowers, except I keep losing the blue one.
Are there even blue Skittles?
No.
I think so.
No,
I think there's
blue,
I think
blue
there
M&Ms.
are. Let me look.
And there's blue like exotic like
looking it up.
tropical Skittles or sours.
Well, I mean, does that count?
There are blue Skittles. They're
I
right
don't believe
there.
you.
I mean, in the tropical bag, in the regular
Yeah,
Skittles,
exactly.
there's regular Skittles is yellow, red, green, orange, and purple.
I'm not exotic enough for those blue Skittles.
But like only the red ones are good. So.
Sorry, I got way distracted by the Skittles thing.
What was the clue again?
Sorry.
Sorry, that was the picture of Skittles I was looking at.
Oh, it looks delicious.
It said Skittles with superpowers, except I keep losing the blue one.
Holy shit. Sounds like a Sentai show. But colors and superpowers. Do you know, Mason?
I do not.
Skittles
I feel
with
like I should know it
superpowers.
though. I feel like you're gonna say I'm gonna be like, you're right.
I keep
you're right,
thinking-
there
That's
are
exactly
no
what's going to happen.
I keep thinking like Samurai Flamenco or something like that, but I don't know.
You want me to give you the answer?
Yeah, might as well.
Kuroko no Basket.
Oh,
Like their hair color.
Oh, well, I
That was
didn't
tough.
really watch.
doesn't
I
Kuroko?
keep losing the blue one.
Oh,
no one
cause
can
he's
find
cause
him.
he's oh.
I was too focused on the food. That was
I kept thinking like some Sentai show where they all had a cut where every color was there except the blue one for some reason. Okay.
That's probably one of my hardest ones.
Yeah, that was a tricky one. Okay. So I thought this was supposed to be the second season, but rather than cool mecha action, they just romp around and do dumb comedy shit. Then this poor military dude who would probably rather be polishing his rifle has to dress up in a mascot costume to protect these two girls, but I think what he's really doing is trying to hide from his harem.
I got this one after the first sentence. Just
Damn.
like I dropped this show after the first episode.
Oh!
Damn.
Most people think this is like the best season of this show.
I know. I watched.
Although I think the first season is
saw
the best.
how good the reviews were for this season, and I was like, "Oh, I'll watch the show to get there." And season
It
one,
had some funny
I
moments.
disliked it so much, but I kept on watching because I'm like, "Oh, this one's supposed to be so good. It's supposed to be so good." And I finally got there, watched episode 1, and said, "Nope, no."
I agree,
no,
Mandy.
nope.
I normally don't like the dumb comedy shows. I think that this show is pretty funny. And Mason, since you got it after one sentence, why don't you just go ahead?
Full Metal Panic from Ofufu. I
That's
don't know how
right.
many F's are in there.
I
How many,
think
every
it's
many you need to fail it.
2 and oh, that's right. Yep. Well, I think it's funny.
There you go.
All right.
Here's my meme one, because I hear this all the time, and it's not true. So here's an actual bad synopsis. You ready?
Mhm.
It's a deconstruction of the magical girl genre.
Oh, wow.
Disgusting. Oh my god. It's not. It's not though. It's not. Sorry, that doesn't count. That's Madoka. Everyone knows it.
Yeah.
Here's the next one.
You just wanted to get spicy.
I did. I had to. This next one. It's about taking naps for hundreds of years and yelling at the moon. It's I don't know.
I have a guess, but it kind of only fits one of your 2 clues, so don't feel all that confident.
Yelling at the moon.
That's the one. That's the clue that I don't know. Taking naps for hundreds of years and yelling at the moon. Well, the only thing I can think of is Dr. Stone, but I don't know that that's it.
That's a pretty good one.
I mean, I don't know where else do they sleep for hundreds of years? I don't know. I got nothing.
I don't know.
Land of the Lustrous. Hoseki no Kuni.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, yeah.
They fight all those moon people, and they're gems, so they just take siestas for a long old while.
I forgot that they do that.
I must have skipped that one. Oh, yep, I did.
Yeah, I don't think you did see that one.
No, I didn't. Although I feel like I should because everyone seems to like it. All right. I'm getting towards the end here. Mandy?
This one's a little bit harder too, because I don't know if you guys have seen this.
They've all been hard.
But just a small town girl living in an undead world. She took the tractor going anywhere.
Tractor?
Oh.
Okay.
And it's not the show where the person has the stupidest harem and is an equal opportunity panty thief, because that's a guy who took a tractor downtown.
No.
My immediate instinct was Soccer Request, but I don't think it really fit the rest of the clues. Small town girl.
Again, you guys may have not seen
I
this.
assume it was just
I'm pretty sure Mason has.
maybe I was thinking of isekai because I immediately associated it with Konosuba. So
Living in an undead world.
The tractor really has me thrown off. So
yeah, the tractor is what's throwing me.
yeah, there's just too many anime out there. I think my brain is all messed up with all this all these monstrous combinations of different anime in my brain. Yeah, I can't keep them straight.
I'll take the L on this one.
I take the L as well.
Shiki.
Yeah, I didn't see that. So I feel better now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about now?
I do. I don't remember
Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good one.
All right. So this next one, it's not my favorite on the list here, but I don't think it's very funny. There's this kid, and he's really loud, and he rides this snake thing into another world. And when he gets there, all he does is scream and beat things up with this stick he carries, even though this military base has tons of weapons. Mo from the Three Stooges cries a lot and kicks a dead cat around. And then they all run off into the desert at night, but this one girl is going to be cold because she's in panties.
I think I missed the beginning of that one. I'm so sorry.
There's this kid, and he's really loud, and he rides this snake thing into another world. And when he gets there, he beats things up with a stick and screams a lot.
Snake thing into another world.
At first I thought like Dragon Ball because of the snake thing.
Fair.
But then I was like, maybe
you guys might
now
not have seen this. I don't know.
there?
It's possible you haven't seen it.
It's possible I haven't seen it.
But I figure one of you has seen pretty much everything, so
But
someone
if I
hasn't seen
have,
it.
then I'm going to feel bad because I don't know. Beats things with a stick?
An awful lot, even though there's plenty of weapons around to be chosen. Someone in the chat got it. Mason's looking
I may
stumped.
not have seen this.
He's looking stumped
I
on
don't know.
camera.
I
It's
don't
now
know.
it's now and then
Looking
here and
like
there.
a YouTuber.
It's now and then here and there.
Oh, I said
Oh,
that.
I haven't seen that.
You did?
I did say that, but it was very hesitantly and not with much confidence.
I see. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Mo from the
I
Three
haven't seen that
Stooges
one yet,
being
so.
Homdo, who's total psycho. So probably the most psychotic character I've ever seen. All right, I'm out. That's it. That was my last one, guys. I'm out of ammo.
I'll just give my last terrible one. I don't expect anyone to get this. So this is a story about the main character from Uzumaki, Saito, whatever. He starts lifting weight and he starts going bald from the stress. What's up with all these shows about guys going bald? Anyway, yeah.
Say it one more time?
It's about Shuichiro Saito from Uzumaki. He starts lifting weight and going bald from the stress.
Bald from the stress.
Didn't you already do a bald from the stress one?
I did, kind of, sort of. But this isn't a very good one. I regret everything.
You got me, bud.
Bald from stress. I don't know.
It's not me, is it?
No. Yes, the AAA podcast anime. That's what the answer is. I don't know. I was trying to play around with Gurren Lagann.
I have a Gurren Lagann one, but that's not what I was thinking.
Or Genome, who's all about like the spirals are evil, and he starts freaking out.
I gotcha. My Gurren Lagann one was mole men save the world with the power of their drill dicks.
Drill dicks.
Yeah. You gotta treat your moles right. They might be handsome boys the whole time.
You want me to just quickly go through my last ones?
Sure.
Yeah, you might as well.
Okay. Mitz won't get this because he hasn't seen it, but Mason will get it right away. Boy combats depression from years of mistaken identity and also has to avoid being eaten by his drunken cat.
Drunken
Yeah.
cat.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah.
The mistaken identity threw me for a second, but
Well, what is it?
Adara is a beast that it's Natsume Yujincho.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Basket Case starts living with a family of closet furries.
A Kuroko no Basket Case.
Yeah.
How does that add up?
I know what this one is too as well.
Wait, what are closet? Wait, what do closet furries have to do with Kuroko no Basket?
No,
It doesn't.
Kuroko no Basket was a tangent that I went on. Pay no
Oh,
mind.
okay. All right, no mind.
Focus on the basket.
It's gotta be Fruits Basket.
There you
Yes. What else do I have? Man tricks entire universe into thinking he's a genius, but is still waiting for someone to refill his glass.
Hmm.
go. Ooh. See, I wanted to be a smart aleck, a dumb boy, but I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nice and not say it.
Well, I don't know.
I was kind of distracted. I assume it was Death Note, but
No.
not quite.
Man tricks entire universe into thinking he's a genius, but is really just waiting for someone to refill his glass.
Someone who drinks a lot. But I don't know.
For the sake of time, let's.
It's definitely Yang Wenli in Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, just give him brandy.
But he is a genius, though.
He definitely is.
He is.
So,
but
them made
it's
me
still
think of
funny.
Yes, it's very.
No, it's funny when they're like, "Oh, what is that Yang Wenli doing right now?" And he's just passed out on a bench. My last one, it was funny because I was trying to think of a shitty synopsis for this, and then I was like, the best thing to do would just be to give an entirely serious synopsis. The final years of the Edo period, anti-foreign sentiment is growing, resulting in the formation of elite swordsmen to help defend the shogunate. The world will be at odds with our main characters.
It's been like 200 episodes. We always start with the alien bit, but aliens haven't shown up at all. What's with that?
Mitz won't get this because he hasn't seen it.
I am silent.
It's Gintama.
I was trying to think of like a shitty synopsis, and I was like, anything I say will be just Gintama because it's so ridiculous. It's kind of hard to make a ridiculous synopsis. So I was like, no, let's go the opposite way and make it entirely serious.
You could have just said dicks.
I could have just said dicks.
Yeah.
It's true.
All right. Well, was that fun, guys?
I had a lot of fun with that, actually.
I feel like I'm not very good at this game, but maybe I'll get better next time.
No worries.
All right, guys. Well, we should move on so we can get to enough of pet, as much as we can handle anyway. So.
Gotcha. So we will go into our second news break, but before that, we have another trivia question for you. In the show Pet, what is the term for a latently hypnotized person that can be activated with a keyword or phrase? Stay tuned. We'll let you know in just a bit.
Hey everybody, Mitsugi's back, and I'm bringing you your second round of anime news, leading us off with another manga that's ending. Kaguya-sama Love is War Dojinban. The spin-off manga is going to be ending this month, so we all know what Kaguya-sama Love is War is. It's had 2 anime seasons and much beloved by pretty much everybody. But this manga imagines erotic scenarios that do not occur in the main story, which is probably by itself a reason to read it. The manga launched on Tonari no Young Jump in June 2018, and new chapters debuted every Thursday since then. It looks like it's going to be concluding, however. If you're a fan of Kaguya-sama Love is War, this Dojinban sounds like a pretty good and honestly more realistic version of what would happen in their lives than what you see in the anime, as they are in high school. So check out Dojinban Kaguya-sama Love is War. The manga is going to be ending pretty soon. Next up, well, it looks like the Ghibli theme park is going to start construction in July for a fall 2020 opening. They don't delay any delays happening due to COVID. And Kajima Corporation, the construction contractor, says that the first 3 areas of the park are going to be able to be made for under $100 million, which is a very cheap theme park, I think. And it looks like Nagoya TV began streaming news about this some time ago and has videos and pictures of the construction work. So they're going to be moving an awful lot of stuff to the quote-unquote Dai Soko area, the giant storehouse. So the giant Ghibli storehouse is going to be storing lots of different goods that are going to be destined for the theme park when it opens in 2022. They were going to have a museum exhibit containing a lot of these goods at the Aichi Prefectural Museum of Art, which was going to happen pretty soon, June 25th to September 16th. But it looks like due to COVID, they're not going to have that, and they're refunding most of those tickets. So if you are a holder of one of those tickets, you might want to get your refund. And it looks like the different areas of the theme park that are going to be starting construction are pretty appealing, so look forward to that. They expect about 1 million people to be in the theme park per year in its first year after opening, and closer to 2 million per year once the park is fully open with all the theme park areas and stuff like that created. So if you're a fan of Studio Ghibli, again, as I am, you will love probably going to the Studio Ghibli theme park, and I will definitely be doing so. Next up, Sega is unbelievably releasing a Game Gear Micro. That's right, the 1990 handheld game console that had a full color backlit screen and good hardware, except a very short battery life that just ate batteries like you wouldn't believe, like just hundreds of AA batteries. They're going to make a miniature version of this, and as seen in the picture, it is much smaller than the palm of your hand. So it's pretty unbelievable. Looks like something that I might buy, but to my recollection, the Game Gear never had a whole lot of games other than Sonic the Hedgehog. It looks like Sega has also revealed more details about this. You can find them online and see what they have in store for you with their mini version of its classic handheld Game Gear. So if you're a fan of Sega, check that out. And lastly, Studio Bones has asked the public not to submit unsolicited story ideas to their studio. So the company states that, quote, "This is to avoid any unfortunate disputes or controversies that may arise from any coincidental identicality or similarities between the submitted ideas and intellectual property originally developed by Bones, Inc." So they believe that the news believes that this request alludes to the devastating arson attack on Kyoto Animation Studio 1, where the arsonist claimed that Kyoto Animation, quote, "stole his novel." So it would sort of make sense that Bones would not want to enter into any kind of dispute about that by just flat out eliminating the ability to submit manga altogether in order to protect their studios. So, which is kind of a shame because it limits the creative aspect of people being able to submit their ideas, but also can kind of understand due to the devastation and loss of life that happened to Kyoto Animation. This was Mitsugi, and this was your anime news break. And now, again, as always, time to get back to the podcast. Are you looking to expand your anime collection?
Are you looking for a place where you can purchase all of your anime desires?
Ooh, then check out jlist.com.
At jlist.com, you can stock up on amazing merchandise. Want more cute moe figures, nendoroids, apparel, or even cute anime-related mugs? You can find all of them there.
That's right. They even have a snack box. Every month, JList will select the newest and best Japanese snacks and send them right to your doorstep. No subscription or long-term commitment is required. Just purchase whatever box you think looks appealing, and that's all there is to it.
JList.com even has items for those naughty anime addicts. Hentai, doujins, erotic visual novels, and even anime-related toys are available for you to use on your very own, or with a very special anime-addicted loved one.
JList.com has everything an anime fan could possibly want. Just head over to their website and check it out.
JList.com, your friend in Japan since 1996.
Oh, yes! My queen!
All right, guys, we're back. You know what? Welcome back to the podcast. Mandy's waving, Mason's waving. And I'm just chilling with my pink monster. Listen to this anime girl singing to me. In the show Pet, what is the term for a latently hypnotized person that can be activated with the keyword or phrase? There's your clue. Carrier pigeon. What?
Can we get a GoFundMe to get Mitz the headphones with the cat ears on top? Can we make that a thing, people?
I had a pair of those once,
They're not that expensive.
and I sold them.
They're probably like $22 on Amazon. Like,
Yeah, there are cheaper versions out there.
Anyway, guys, if you want to help contribute to the podcast, we're going to make things even easier for you also. So if you head over to aaapodcast.com/join, you can sign up, support the podcast for a few bucks, and we will be giving you 8 exclusive podcast episodes every month, which you already knew that, though. But maybe you didn't know that we have an exclusive members-only RSS feed that will now let you listen to all of our hentai episodes, hobby addicts, and after parties all on your favorite mobile apps on your phone. So back in the day, you had to listen via the website. Wasn't all that convenient for people. Many of you suffered for many years, many long, sad years of listening through the website. But now, nay, those days are gone. Winter was here and now it's gone. For now, you can listen via your favorite mobile app. So I encourage you guys to go to the website. After you sign up at the website, aaapodcast.com/join. Along the top bar, there is a member RSS button that will take you directly to a page that'll show you how to do it pretty easy. So help out the podcast, and we will help you out as well. And you know how else you can help out the podcast is by writing a 5-star review. So let's get right to that as well.
It's time for iTunes review.
And this iTunes review comes to us from AM Hunt 1992, which I must say is a fine year indeed. And they write, I can't recommend this podcast enough. I started listening in July of 2019, and it is my go-to for car rides and workouts. I'm a fan of anime, but my friends are not fans of it. This podcast, in addition to the community it creates, gives me a place to engage in anime discourse. The hosts are knowledgeable, passionate, and provide thought-provoking commentary. Their selfless hard work does not go unnoticed by me, and I am grateful to have the AAA podcast part of my daily routine. Thank you so much.
Aww.
Wow, that was such a well-written review. Thank you so much, my man.
Very concise. Made my heart go all aflutter, or maybe that's just the caffeine.
We got some Doki Doki action going on, and of all the content that you guys bring with the mailbags that we're about to do, the anime arguments, the Enzo's Senpai Notice Me corner, the mailbags I think have been going on the longest, and we need this 5-star streak to continue. So if you've ever been like, man, I should really get around to writing one of those iTunes review, we would love you more than life itself if you were to go and do so. Just go to iTunes, give us a heartfelt message, or just poop on us a bunch and say lol 5 stars. But either way, we appreciate it nonetheless. So there you go.
This is a 5-star pooping. You could literally just write that. I mean, it's really not that. I mean, fuck, why not? You know what? What are we even doing?
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
Mailbag.
So if you've not been here for the past couple weeks, we have moved our mailbags up because we are trying to make sure that we get to them so we don't keep having to skip them. But if you'd like to leave us one, go to aaapodcast.com. There's a mailbag button there. Click it, and you can write in questions, and we will answer them for you. So the first one is from Yotaru Vegeta. It says, no pressure, AAA. Please name the best CG anime of all time. Before you answer, do you think there will be a consensus among the hosts? I don't think so.
No.
There's a lot of stuff that some of us have seen, others haven't seen. So I don't think there will be.
So I really like Ajin. I thought that was good. I was very engrossed in that. Knights of Sidonia was okay, but it was kind of convoluted, and you could tell that they were sort of just trying to figure out how to do their CG. I do like the CG cars in Initial D, even though they're kind of janky. They kind of had like a charm to them. And I'm currently watching season 1 of Kingdom, which is CG, but I am only like 5 episodes in, so I don't know if it's really in this category of like best CG anime at this point. So.
Mine was Land of the Lustrous. It was hard for me because I was debating between that and Beastars, but I think Land of the Lustrous just looks so good with CG, especially the hair. It just looks really amazing. And like Beastars also looks amazing, but I think Beastars would be just as good if it had been 2D. So I think I chose Land of the Lustrous because I think something about the 3D CG really accentuates the hair, and there's so much stuff that you couldn't. Maybe it may have looked a lot different with 2Ds. I don't know. I think that's why I chose that one.
I feel like Land of the Lustrous also feels more 3D than
I
feel like there's a lot of shows that use CG as like a supplement, and Beastars is definitely more so than other shows. It's definitely heavily CG'd, but Land of the Lustrous was like full CG all the time, and I think that helped cement it as this is a CG show. So
yeah,
if you want my honest answer, it'd probably be Land of the Lustrous. The Godzilla movies that Polygon did are spectacular, CG. If you want to take a look at those, there's 3 of them. I also really liked Ajin. I thought that looked cool. Honestly, no joke, no meme here.
I don't believe
Kingdom
that at
City,
all.
The CG in it is amazing because you wouldn't know it's CG. It looks like claymation. I thought it was a claymation show at first, and then you look up, oh, Polygon did that, and like the way they like textured all the surfaces to make it have that like sheen of clay is impressive. So while it
Those
is
look
not
pretty good.
the best show, it's probably some of the best CG in anime.
Only
so,
Mason.
Got Penguin the City. It's Newt for life.
All right.
The next mailbag comes from Fashion Eagle 69. Hello, AAA hosts. What are some anime that you have watched and really enjoyed, but on second watch or looking back, don't really hold up? Thank you for being the only reason I use Discord.
Oh,
You're welcome. I love hanging out with people on Discord, and it's a good time. It's a good time. I need to start going through my list to find an answer. So
I feel like pretty much almost everything I watched prior to being like 16 is on this list. So, you know, back I was like, oh my god, Love Hina, so good. Mahoromatic, so good. Happy Lesson. Happy Lesson. What the fuck? I don't think I would enjoy those anime today. Happy Lesson though, I do think it's actually funny, but it's so fucking dumb. But like Love Hina, like I feel like I used to be really into Love Hina, but back in my younger years. But now I don't think I could get through more than like 2 episodes of it. And Mahoromatic's pretty much the same exact way. So just all that stuff.
So I didn't write anything down because I was thinking about this for a long time. But there's some that I think I definitely my opinions would probably change, but I can't really say for sure because I haven't gone back and watched them. One that I know for sure was Sarah's Celestial Legend. I used to love that when I was 15, and then I tried rewatching it. I was like, I don't know what I was thinking. That one for sure. I was like, I don't know about that. I wonder how I would feel about Armitage. Because I used to love that back in the day, so I don't know if my opinions would change now that I've seen more. And Orphan. I wonder if my opinions on Orphan would change if I went back and watched it.
If the new Orphan is any indication.
I know.
Oh my god.
That's what made me think of that. I was like, oh, I loved Orphan in high school. Now I'm like,
too.
I don't know if I'd still feel that way.
I played the game too, and that game wasn't real good. I mean, okay, wait a second. That game was fucking terrible.
Yeah,
let's just be honest. Mason, did you dig anything up yet off your list? He's like scanning it.
I haven't been watching for like so long that like there's stuff that in my youth I would like see in a completely different light nowadays. Probably like Kisniver is a show that I feel like if I went back and revisited, I would probably see it in a very different light. But I'm not. There's definitely shows where I have rated it a score and then like a couple months later gone back and been like, well, what was I thinking? It's probably a hair lower than that or something. But I really only rewatch my favorites, and they usually hold up pretty darn well. So I will get back to you if I come up with a better answer later.
I rewatched the first episode of Space Brothers yesterday, and it's even better than I remember. I'm such a softie. I think I cried 3 times in the first episode. It's just everything in that anime is just so fucking good and just so like moving and inspirational. Right down to like Muta's parents that like sign him up for the astronaut exam or whatever, and then without him knowing, and they snapped. Oh fuck, Space Brothers. If any of you haven't seen Space Brothers, for God's sake, quit listening right now. It's on Hulu. Go watch that shit. It is fucking good. It is so good.
Speaking of Space Brothers, I didn't bring this up because we're definitely not sponsored whatsoever, but Humble Bundle had a manga bundle, and it's only available for 2 more days. All of Space Brothers is in there.
There you go.
And you can get that and Beck and Love Hina and all kinds of stuff for like $20. The entire series. It's so... Man, Humble Bundle manga bundles are amazing.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
That's kind of a tongue twister. Say Humble Bundle manga bundle 5 times fast.
Look, I trip over my words all the time, so I'm very proud of myself.
All right,
Well
Mason.
done. Well done.
Mason,
And with that,
you did this to us, so let's
yeah. Let's hear it, everyone. Final segment of the show is our review of the anime Pet. I impressed and passed this back on episode 508. This is from the winter season, and you can watch this over on Amazon. So, Pet is a story about image users, as the show refers to them, essentially psychics, with the ability to oh my goodness, I'm blanking on the name of the movie, Inception. They have the ability to infiltrate people's minds and manipulate their memories, and their powers are used by an organization to cover up fraud, assassination, or other like shady dealings. The show kind of examines the psychic's life as trying to escape from the organization that controls them and the emotional fallout that they suffer from the actions of manipulating people's memories. So that's kind of what the show is. It's done by Geno Studio, which did Kokoku and Golden Kamuy, both shows that I would categorize as a great concept that doesn't really live up to it in the end. It's directed by Takahiro Omori, which was one of the big reasons why I passed this show, because he has done so much really solid stuff. Bakano and Durarara, which we talked about earlier, Princess Jellyfish, Natsume Yujin Show, and the movie Into the Forest of Fireflies Light. So pretty good, people working behind it. So believe this is based on a manga that is very not well known. It's not really licensed, not really talking about in the Western sphere at all. So while it does have a source material, I had no knowledge going in besides, what I just mentioned. How about you guys? Mandi? Or Mitch, sorry.
No, go ahead.
All I heard going into it was this is very trippy. That's literally all I knew about it. I saw some screenshots. I went into it expecting a horror. Like, I think it was because the image of like the big eyeball in the wall, and I was expecting it to be some kind of horror show. And yeah, I don't know. I guess it was nothing like what I was expecting. But I didn't do any research into it beforwards. I didn't watch it while it was airing. I just watched it this week, and yeah, I didn't have any real expectations going in. Except people said weird shit happens.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that like the images from the show, just like me Googling the show to pull images for, whatever for the podcast, just looked weird, And I think other than that, I didn't know anything about it. As usual, this question for me is almost always going to be, I didn't really know much. So, and that's the case here as well.
Yeah, the one interesting point is that this was originally supposed to premiere the season ahead in fall of 2019. And I remember because they had like a bunch of like goldfish promotional images and they didn't have much going on. And I was like, oh, I'll do an impression on it. And then it kind of never happened and then moved to winter. So I'm like, I kind of liked the concept of it then.
I remember that.
Now, so still not a lot to go on, but it was interesting that it was moved back. And I don't really know if that was ever mentioned why. But anyway, spoiler-free recommendation. I can go first. So many anime, I think, have like a really absolute like dynamite concept. Like they just hook you and pull you in. And it kind of tries to just ride the momentum of that massive wave as it kind of takes you out to sea. And you're like, the beginning was good, but it kind of didn't go anywhere with it. I feel like this show had an odd concept, but it was more about mystery and misdirection that kind of took you across I thought, a tightly constructed narrative. You've got all these different waves going on. It's not just one big, he can write a name in a book and it kills the person. You got capillary waves, you got wind surges, you got swells, you got standing waves. Like this show threw a lot at you, and it may like disorientate people and confuse people. But at the end, I thought that it brought me back to a satisfying ending place. So I thought, despite how weird it was, I kind of liked where it went. I enjoyed watching it. It felt like a fresh experience, but I do not recommend the show for others. It does not look all that good. It requires you to be kind of actively watching. It's not something you can lightly toss on into the background at all. And paired with kind of how bad the visuals look, it's not something you really want to be watching. There's not much of a community around it. Like, you're not going to find people who want to talk about this, or there's not like that anime push to encourage people to watch it. At the end of the day, the show is sponsored by Pizza Hut. So if you like Code Geass and Evangelion, it's got some qualities like it, but it's Yeah, no, it's if you look in the credits, it was sponsored by Pizza Hut. I think the guy that like tackles him at the end was like in the Pizza Hut uniform.
There
the
was a
show-
sign at one point, Pizza Hut sign behind
there
him.
you go. There you go. Pizza Hut. It's not the first time they've
Wow.
sponsored
Okay.
anime. This show is like a better version of the show 18 if you've ever watched that, which is like a Gonzo show from 2017. I don't recommend it. Listen to the review. It's going to be very wild and weird, and if it really strikes your fancy, give it a shot. But I think for most people, it's an easy pass.
I can't recommend this show either. This is a show with tremendous wasted potential. I feel like I was sitting with some friends this morning, and I was explaining this anime to them, and they were like, "Oh wow, that sounds like a really cool concept," you know. And then I explained that most of the show is a little boring. Like, I'm gonna infiltrate your mind and change your memories and all this cool stuff. Like, there's a lot of opportunity for like action or even weirder things than they did in the show. But ultimately, what they do in the show is they stand around, and they talk in hotel rooms a lot, and it just isn't that interesting. And not only do they talk a lot, but it's like it's conversation that if you're not reading every word and paying attention very closely, you miss things, and you're going to be lost. And so, unfortunately, so it's a lot like Legend of the Galactic Heroes in that way, where like you need to be paying attention. But unfortunately, unlike Legend of the Galactic Heroes, it's not engrossing. So it's just not interesting. It wasn't interesting to me. I feel like it could have been a great show, but a lot like Kokoku, like the idea is interesting, but they just do a shit job of executing it, and I don't think it's going to appeal to most people. So yeah, I would pass for sure. Would not recommend.
Yeah, I'm happy you brought up Kokoku because I was going to say the same thing. Because when I was watching this, I had the exact same feeling that I had during Kokoku. I was like, the concept would be so cool if it was better executed. Because I really like shows that dive deep into like your like into like dreams and
psyche.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of, like memories, altering memories. I don't know. I really like media like that, like Ghost in the Shell, Paprika. I actually kind of like that It Invaded show. I watched the whole thing. The one game that came out, the name of it is escaping me, but yeah, no,
Sacrifice.
The what?
Setsuno's Sacrifice or whatever it was?
No, no, it was a Switch game.
Okay, sorry.
My brain is blanking on it now. If I think of it, I'll bring it up again. But no, I really like stuff like that. And for the first 4 or 5 episodes, I was like, you know what? This is kind of cool. I'm understanding what's going on. But I think at the end, I was just like, there were so many loose ends and things that weren't explained. They kept bringing up new things to these, like to the power that is presented in this anime, and that were not explained. And to me, it felt more like they were just pulling shit out of their hat. Like, I don't know, there's like all these things like messenger pigeons and all of these things that they kept introducing, and it's not really explaining anything about them. There's like pets, and there's kids or children, and there's dads, and I don't know, there's so much stuff in there that they kept throwing at you, and I was like, it could have really benefited from having an episode or something to explain what this power is, instead of just expecting you to accept it. So there's a lot in there that after a while I was like, I'm just not following, and I lost interest. Yeah, and there was so much about the company that I was like, I don't know, I didn't really get a really good sense of who they are, except it's like the Illuminati. That's why
Yes,
I don't
very
know.
much so.
There's a lot of things. I was just like, there's nothing there solid that's grabbing me. I don't know. I don't really agree with Mason's idea that it looked ugly. I thought it actually looked pretty good. I mean, there's nothing like over the top amazing, but I did not think it looked bad.
I was okay with how it looked. I mean,
yeah, I thought it looked pretty good, but yeah, no, I definitely don't recommend it. I didn't, at least for me, it did not grab me. That's all I got.
There you go. Mandy's getting flashbacks of Kokoku.
Yeah, I'd say the plot was very simple, but after a while it just got too much. there was like, I don't know. I think maybe it was too simple and I was expecting it to be really hard to understand, to the point where I was like, it's just not following through. Like, I don't know. I couldn't get into it.
Well, shall we move into spoilers?
So let's do some spoiler action, yeah.
Spoilers are coming. Oh my god!
Listen, I thought Kokoku was way better than this show.
I agree.
Because
Also,
Kokoku had action in it. It was engaging. This show, I fell asleep probably 3 times. I mean, it was just like, I can't read these dense and, to be honest, very fast-moving subtitles for just hours on end without any kind of a break. I guess I can, but like if it's interesting. But this show is just an awful lot of God. If I never hear the word peak or lock or
backdoor
and
baby,
friggin'
that was it.
valley.
Babies, not kids. It's babies.
Yeah, so I don't even know where you want to start with this one, Mason.
I want to start, unless Mandy has an idea.
No, I was just gonna say that IC reminded me of the name of that game. It's AI Sim Name Files. Thank you. That was it.
It's like an invaded AI.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess I want to start with the easy stuff. Art and animation. So I thought that the show was initially kind of off-putting visually, but I grew accustomed to it, and it was just very stiff feeling. Like there was no style to it, and it was weird because I want to use the word uncanny valley, because a lot of times you get an uncanny valley when something is trying to be too precise, too lifelike, that you're like, this doesn't quite get all the way there. It looks odd. This show didn't have those details, but it still struck me as like just kind of off. And I agree that the dream sequences looked pretty cool, especially when they had these flashy transitions. I thought the water forms of like Tsukasa and just all those scenes looked well done, but overall the show just wasn't easy to watch. And there was weird like scenes where they put a bow tie on someone's neck and there was like a point of neck view, like the tie was going around it, not a point of the character's view. That was odd. And of course there's a lot of moments where the characters speak in Chinese, so there's Japanese subtitles, but Amazon in their incompetency put the English subtracks right on top of the Chinese or on the Japanese subtitles, so you had to read through the letters, and it was doable, but it's just you have to recolor it, you have to move it. It's obviously not the anime's fault, but something that hinders into the experience you have. So I agree, the visuals didn't like just mess me up with the show, but it was probably a moment that I could see people instantly being dissuaded from watching that.
Yeah, my GF was watching this with me, and she complained about that, and she's about the hardest critic you've ever seen, even harder than you, Mason, and she was like, this show fucking sucks, and she was out after about 3 minutes. She was like, this is some boring ass shit, and was gone.
The GF was like GG.
Oh, she did not. Yeah, she was not. Yeah. So I will say, since we're talking about like aesthetics and stuff a little bit, I thought the opening theme to this was great. I fucking love it. It's obviously, I'm just gonna go out on a limb here without looking and say it's the same guy that did the Tokyo Ghoul theme song, because it sounds exactly like
all of TK stuff is amazing.
He just sounds like he's like being recorded. He sounds like he's like talking inside of like a box or something, or he sounds like his voice is like. I can do a really good impression of him in real life, but I don't think it would sound well over the mics. But the song is great. I love it. Yeah. And the video that goes with it was great.
His band, Link Toshite Shigure, is great. And if there's one thing Geno Studio is good at, it's their openings are always bangers. Golden Kamui, Kokoku, and this are all it's paired really well visually with the music. And I thought the music was kind of solid. It was kind of fine and forgettable, but the opening was great. And there's when Tsukasa starts going crazy, they have all this like off-kilter piano work when he's like in his own head and like kind of losing it, that I thought was very fitting as well.
Yeah, I actually don't even barely recall the music in the anime other than the OP. It was so unmemorable. So that's my take on the music. I thought that visually it was okay. Like sometimes some of the character models were really freaking weird. Like I keep forgetting what her name is, but like the Chinese lady who shows up like halfway through.
Jin.
Jin. She was like her modeling was rough. I mean, like there were shots where like her nose looked like it was about this thick as a water bottle, and then like other shots it would look normal. And I'm just like, people, like let's get this right. Like I need to know what she looks like. She's not, she's not amorphous. So let's figure this shit out because the modeling was at times
wasn't consistent.
No, not at all. But I think what like Mandi said, it didn't really like it wasn't like Dragon Ball Super horrendous or anything like that. So I was able to watch it.
Yeah, the lack of action scenes kind of helped disguise wonky animation, but even just the still frames I thought was kind of odd. But I don't know.
That's right.
What do you want to go to next? Characters or the plot?
Can we talk about this martial art thing? Because man, I really like the idea of it, but it was so like they didn't explain anything. They're just like, this is just an old ancient like martial art where you can go into other people's memories and like see their best memory, which is their peak, and their worst memory, which is their valley. And if because both of those are supposed to be related, if you mess up one, that it can completely crush them, which means that they are basically a vegetable. Like they just completely lose themselves. But it doesn't really explain anything like, well, how do they train this? Like, where was it developed? Like, how? Like, what is all of these different things? Because eventually people started saying, this is my back door, like, to, like, escape from these situations. I'm like, I don't know what that means.
You're talking about...
like, no one's trained in any of this, so I don't know.
Kui Dong or whatever the hell? Is that what you're talking about?
What's that?
Yeah, Kui Long or something.
I
would
Kui Dong
fine
or...
with how the powers work. The power usage didn't concern me. I agree that the whole, like, company background and the Chinese martial arts background was so contrived and unnecessary. But like, to me, all those backdoor, lock, valley, peak, those are all, like, to me, highly metaphorical representations of sharing your peak with someone. Was clearly a deep emotional resonance you had,
right?
A positive thing. And I was, for the first half of the show, I was kind of like, how metaphorical is this supposed to be? There's clearly a lot of passion and love and that sort of emotions tied to between the characters, and I was okay with like, oh, I shared him my peak, and I'm like, hey, yeah, you definitely did. But there's that emotional connection of influence made sense. And then when they talk about the term crushed, about the trauma that they underwent from a relationship that went sour versus literally setting a person's mountains on fire, I was kind of okay with it because I was looking at it through a more metaphorical lens. But yes, if you're watching it for answers, how did this happen, you definitely need a huge leap of faith.
Here's the problem with this anime. So the anime is a big chess game, right? There's a lot of talk of all these powers, things that can be done. I can change your memories. I can rewrite them. I can lock your memories in a box and put them in your mind. I can crush you and make you like
control you.
I can control you. I can do all this shit.
Yeah.
But there's an awful lot of yapping about all this stuff that can be done, to the point of just utter frustration for me, because they will sit there and talk about this shit for 20 fucking minutes, and then they do nothing. And then but there are scenes in the show that I feel like are the answer to what would have made the show a lot better. And here's an example. Towards the end of the show, there's a scene where Satoru is with Tsukasa and they're trying to confront Hiroki. And they're going to like crush him or apprehend him or whatever the fuck they're going to do. Mm-hmm. And in that scuffle, Satoru uses his power for like the first time in the whole show, I think, pretty much. And it's like this ribbon thing or whatever. And he's going to capture Hiroki with it, and Hiroki turns into this goldfish thing, and it splits him in half, and he uses this that is like a very short, almost like X-Men style action scene where something happened that's like a psychic battle, but it only lasts like 20 seconds, and I think that this show could have been made a whole hell of a lot better if there was a lot more of this confrontation happening inside of the psyche. So like when someone's getting crushed, what is it? Like I mean, forgive me for like pulling out the shonen lover in me, but it's like, oh, I'm gonna crush you and take your memories away or whatever. So let's have a fucking battle in my mind, and let me see it with supernatural powers or something. For me, the show needed more of that, and it needed to be a little slower. I think like the story is weaved in a very poor way. Like it's very it's very hard to understand like the point of everything in this show.
I think that's just where we aesthetically disagree, because you want to see these big visual splendor of battles and stuff, and I was more into like the guy's hiding in his apartment, so they like manipulate the memories of the guy delivering him foods, and he manipulates the guy who's like manning the booth, and like it's like this interplay of we don't need to see how they manipulate them, but all of a sudden he doesn't know what he's seeing and believing his own lies, and he sneaks out the back door to manipulate the guy to give him something, but in turn he was manipulated all along, and like that whole like 4D chess. And I don't need to see that happening. I can appreciate it, and especially later on when like everyone's lying to him and he's trying to figure out the truth in their lies, and he's like, I know something's wrong, but I'm trying to find the thread that will get me there. And they like plan in advance to like alter this guy's memories, so when he like distrusts him and he's like, I'm gonna double check with your memories here, that's already planned out. Like that's more of what I got out of the show.
I'm gonna step back for a second and let Mandy give her thought in a second, but I guess just to counter your point, I guess what I wanted was to not be bored during this anime, and if I wanted to read the whole goddamn anime, I'd read a book, because that's what this show is. There's no fucking anime in this show. It's just
Why would you come to this show looking for a good time. How
I mean,
dare you, my
they
man.
just stand around and talk about like what they can do, and then but like I don't have to watch an anime for that. I could read a book, or I could play a visual novel. Like let's do something. I don't know. I have no attention span. I just get bored. Like I get the 4D chess, but like for God's sake, people, I have a limit. Mandy.
I don't think I need a lot of action, because I like the kind of I like very psychological anime, but I think what could have helped me a bit is maybe a better visual aid to let me know that we are in someone's memory, because there are some times where it's like, are we in a memory? I don't know what's happening right now until someone uses their image, which they don't always use their image, where Hiroki is like a goldfish, which relates to his peak, and then Tsukasa turns into water. They all have different images, but they don't always use them, and then sometimes I get confused because they use their images outside of memories, like butterflies. I'm like, I don't know. I don't understand this power. I think the power is my main problem with this anime, is I just don't I need to know how it works.
You want the diagram of entering this.
I wanted the Hunter x Hunter RPG explanation of Nen.
AKA, that's just a full page of reading.
Yes, exactly. That's what I need.
I understand everyone's point, and I feel like, I mean, I don't know. I like how Hayashi looks like Geralt. I think that's kind of odd and weird, and they never bring back his like weird eyes again.
That is no Geralt. Don't insult Geralt.
Oh, he did look like Geralt. That's so true. That's funny.
No.
That's funny.
No, I mean, I honestly feel like we're not going to agree on anything. The show was very different, and I think we all disliked it for a lot of different ways. So I'm fine scoring it for the sake of time, but
we didn't talk about the plot or characters or anything.
I mean, I thought the plot was probably the strongest part. I actually enjoyed how everything came together. I think a lot of times mystery or suspense anime kind of falls flat, and I was satisfied how it ended up. I was satisfied kind of the big climax with all the characters and how they were tricking each other and where their intentions lied. I don't know. I thought it was well done, and it really, every episode you were getting a very different thing and kind of cheering for different people as the show progressed.
I mean, this anime is basically about a company that enlists these psychics to commit crimes for them. Crimes that are aided by being a psychic. And as Mandy said
we don't
before,
ever get to see those.
Yeah, you don't get to see them. But they go out on jobs a couple times. But ultimately, the show ends up being about, like, it's a lot more of, like, how can I get out of the company? How can I navigate the other psychic users? And so you have scenes where, like I feel like the whole second half of this anime was Tsukasa trying to figure out how to get away with the fact that he crushed. I'm getting the names mixed up. Tsukasa crushed Hayashi, and he's trying to figure out how he can hide that, because another character named Satoru is received his quote-unquote peak from Hayashi, and he's so committed to him that if Satoru figures it out, Satoru will kill him. And so he tries to figure out like, so it's this like mental thing of, well, how can I deceive him, and how can I deceive him, and I'm gonna pin it on Hiroki, and then but really I'm not, and I'm gonna use a backdoor to, it's just like all this stuff. There's a whole bunch of this. Most of the show is just trying to figure out how to like outwit the other person.
Yeah.
It's like a chess game in that way. But as Mandy said, you don't get to see any crimes like happening really. Maybe in the very beginning, and there's so much fucking talk of like, oh, this is what a peak is. I feel like I'm sitting through like a college class on like Inception science, because it's like, oh, here's my peak, here's my valley, here's my lock, here's my pet, here's my baby, here's all these terms and all these like rules of this world, and all I'm doing is like sitting here reading about this fucking system, but I never get to see the system happen. Like, it never gets practiced. It's almost like a bunch of monks that sit around and talk about how they're going to beat someone's ass, and then they never actually do anything with it. It's like capoeira or something. Like capoeira, I did that for a couple years.
Explain the rules of how the chess works in this world, and that's why they're going through all those steps. And I understand why it's, if you never see it, you're just like, this is unsatisfying. This is not an interesting chess match.
Yeah, exactly. And let me finish my thought there on capoeira, because I don't want to burn anybody. Like capoeira, it's like this martial art. They talk, you practice kicking, you talk about kicking, but in reality, like, if you've ever like studied capoeira, it's so peaceful and calm and stuff that like you don't actually ever hurt anybody. You don't actually use it. I never used it in like 2 years on someone. So like, it's like that, I don't know. They need to, if you're gonna give me this set of rules, at least let us watch it happening, like, in practice. I don't know. That's how I felt, I guess. But I don't know. I feel like there wasn't much plot in this show, if you really think about it. The plot was...
Yeah, it was very simple.
The plot was, here's my peak, here's my valley, and here are the rules of my mind, and here's how you break a person. Like, that was the story. Like, there really wasn't much of like and there was no like events-driven story, really, I don't feel like. I feel like
we need it more on the company, because I felt like I got the good idea that they're bad people, but I didn't really get a good sense of what exactly do they do. Like, I could assume they're bad people. That's about it. And they're doing shady business, but I didn't really get a good sense of like, this is why they no longer want to be in the company, Right. I don't know.
Well, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to continue, so go ahead.
I was going to say the company doesn't really use them to commit the crimes. It's usually to cover up the crimes of what they've done. So what the company's illicit dealings are is not really part of the thing. They're just like, this guy knows the secret. We send these guys after him to clean up. They're the cleanup crew. They don't really care what murder, what the plot was before. They're just there to wipe up the evidence in a sense. And they just want to leave the company not because so much, they're doing bad things. We don't like that. It's just they're controlling us. We don't have our freedom. I mean, the arc is Hiroki wants to leave the company. Tsukasa says, no, we can't. Why can't? Because they'll kill us. Well, what happened to this other guy? And that's kind of, it doesn't really connect from point A to point B, because at the end it's like, well, why didn't they just run away? And they're like, well, why didn't we just run away? We probably should have just run away. I agree that part was very weak, but that's kind of how I saw it.
I think also I didn't really get a good sense of conclusion to it. Like, I mean, the company's not like destroyed forever. They just ran away. So I don't know. The ending wasn't satisfying for me either.
Nope.
But were there any characters that you guys liked?
I liked Hayashi. I don't know.
I think I liked Hiroki.
Yeah. Hiroki was fine.
I think it was kind of cool that like, at first I was like, why does he turn into a goldfish? It's really weird. Until we got to see, they have an aquarium like store together, or like I don't know, it was like a fish store together. And then then we got to see their peak, where Tsukasa's peak was like underwater, and then Hiroki's like, I don't know, he has a fascination with fish, so he turned his image into a fish. And I was like, now it's falling all the pieces are falling into place. I'm understanding a little bit more of like why they chose such weird images. I kind of like that part of it.
I think Satoru was a good boy, but I liked Tsukasa in that like he is insane, but he's not like the anime token I'm just crazy. Like he like always teetered on the edge of like being unstable, but like also being like contemplative and like desperate. Like went through all these different cycles of like concern in the psyche, and a lot of that you could see as a metaphor from when he crushed Hayashi, the blowback that it turned to him, it kind of broke his own psyche, and putting that together was, I thought, an interesting character dynamic.
I think, Tsukasa, I think for a while I could not tell if he was if he was manipulating Hiroki or if he was actually pretending to manipulate Hiroki but was actually on his side. And that's the part where I was like, with the backdoor part, I got kind of confused when he confronts Hiroki. He's like, don't worry, just go along with it. And Hiroki's like, no, fuck you.
Whispering in his like water form.
Yeah.
He's
like, no.
He had an unhealthy obsession with Hiroki.
Yeah.
There was a scene where he's like, yeah, I'll run away with you and take care of you when you're, crushed, and like be another mouth to feed, and just like, okay, dude, like you're clearly are attached to him, but you don't have both people's best interest in mind.
Yeah, I think a lot of the characters in this had very negative like dependencies on different people and things. Yeah. I wonder if that was part of the message of it. Maybe it just went over my head for a while, but I don't know.
Anything else, Mitz?
Nothing.
All right.
You want me to go first then for scoring this?
You guys go first.
Okay. Yeah. So I think at the end, I think the show would make for an excellent rewatch. Like, I'm curious to how many of the components later on in the scene or in the story, like, were like hiding in plain sight, such as like the reflections, like the truth of their powers showing up there, for example. Or if the characters' motivations are consistent across the whole thing. Those are kind of things that I'm like, I understand how it was at the end. I don't know if that's how it was at the beginning. The show answered all of my questions, and I think a lot of thrillers in anime fail, so I enjoyed it. I didn't really feel like emotionally attached or invested in the characters, but I enjoyed seeing their inner thoughts and some of the 4D chess at play. The show is definitely slept on, and I think for good reason. I think there's only a small contingency of people who will appreciate the anime, and I feel like the show pushes the envelope and like gets a lot of paper cuts for it, but it's not generic, and just by that alone, I appreciate. I'm going to give it 3 fiery peaks out of 5.
Any show where I'm like the Emperor in Amadeus. Do I still have that drop? Where the hell is that drop? Somebody made it for me, and then we haven't used it in a long time, and now I'm not gonna be able to find it. But I'm like the Emperor in Amadeus. They say, "Oh, here it is. It's way at the bottom of the soundboard." He says, "Well,
there it is.
There it is." And it's like, if you fell asleep once during an opera, it could perhaps maybe do okay. 2 times, well, it would be out of the theater within a week. But a third time, and it would fail maybe the same night. Like, if you guys have seen Amadeus, that's exactly how I felt watching this anime, because I think I fell asleep 3 times. I fell asleep during the episode where they explained the lock idea. I had to go to the pet wiki to figure that out, because I'm like, I just nodded the fuck off. Sorry, it's like I'm laying in bed at night watching them talking about locks and peaks and shit for like hours, literally hours, and I'm just like, do I have that drop of someone snoring? It's on there somewhere. Enough looking for drops. I did not like this anime very much. I think, here it is. This was me during episode 6. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good rendition. The anime it had a lot of potential. I feel like it could have been something special, a lot like how I felt like about Kokoku, but ultimately I just found it boring. And it's an entertainment medium, and everybody will find everything's entertaining, but this one was not for me. I'm just not going to be. Going forward, I just don't know if I'm going to be able to like be in on the shows where all they do is just talk very densely for like 2 straight hours. Like, I just don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. So I didn't like it. I'm going to give it a generous 2 broken fish aquariums out of 5. Generous, I think.
Man. I'm thinking hard about a score, but yeah, I'm around the same, where I thought for the first few episodes, I thought, wow, this is gonna be really cool, and I was really into it, and it was very easy to understand. I think it lost me where they started, like I've said this before, I already said throughout the entire review, that I think they just started throwing in keywords and things, where it started giving me more questions, where I was like, well, how do they train that? How do they develop that then? And I think that's what was so unsatisfying for me, is that I could not get a good grasp of what this power was. And I think if I did, then I would have been more immersive in it. But because after a while I started thinking, well, they could just make up any shit. But yeah, no, I was a little bit, I don't know, a little bit off with the company part too. But I do think that they did have some really cool scenes. Like I like the scene with Hiroki changing the memories of the people that he's like hiding out in. I thought those parts were cool. There were some really cool concepts in there, and I thought, man, if they could have expanded on this a lot more, maybe it needed more than just the 13 episodes. I think I would have been really into it. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't like it as much as Kokoku, but I got a very strong Kokoku feel from it, where I was like, cool, but I need it more. I just need, I don't know, maybe it just need to be executed a little bit better. I think I gave Kokoku a 2.5, so I think I'm gonna give this 2 goldfish out of 5.
Well, I
did
concur.
it.
And as I recall, I think that Kokoku had a really great theme song as well. Equally
Great
weird.
OP.
Equally weird, I think, if I remember.
Flashback by Miyavi.
Oh yeah, Flashback, right? Yeah. So, yep, that feels about right. So.
Ooh.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening to the podcast. Next week, I've updated the website. Yes, Mandy.
I'm so sorry, I forgot the listener score.
Of course, yeah.
Average rounds up to a 3. We did not get many votes at all.
Amazon.
I think part of that is Amazon Prime, and other part is that it just didn't have a lot of buzz in the anime community, so not a lot of people watched it. Yeah, I think we only had like 8 votes. So yeah, but averaged it rounds up to a 3.
Sounds good. Little higher than I would have thought. All right, so guys, we are, we're coming up fast on summer 2020 picks. I actually did them yesterday. That's not going to be for a few weeks here, but summer 2020 is looking like a good season. But next week I have us doing Doro Hey Doro on the website, so subject to change, but that's what I have us down for next week, since it's just kind of arbitrary. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the podcast today. Had fun. I hope you had fun, and I hope that you continue to be anime addicted and watch all your shows, and come engage with us on social media and Discord. We're always kind of hanging around, so if you want to talk to us, we're pretty much always available to say hi. And again, on social, I'm at Pope Mitsugi. Mandy.
AAA_Mandy with an I. I'd still need to change it.
Mason Spicy, but not too spicy for Twitter anymore.
I have a Twitter. It is Macy Pacey. So
there you
find
go.
me over there if you can spell it. If not, good luck.
Friends, we will see you next week, and I hope you all have a great week. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Love you. Stay safe, everyone.